24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The battle for European soccer supremacy has reached the knockout stage, and all the drama of the Euros is on Sirius XM.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
Every match is now win or go home, and they can all be heard on Fox Sports Channel 83.
That is sensational!
Before and after the matches, hear what the experts are saying on Sirius XM FC 157.
They are proven winners right now.
No one is covering Euro 2024 like Sirius XM. Listen in the car or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
CJCL Toronto. This
slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A return to the mound for Rodriguez. The Cuban right-hander Yariel Rodriguez electrified Rogers Center on Canada Day. Now he introduces himself to Western Canada as he faces Emerson Hancock on the road in Seattle. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Game 2 of this series. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host, Nick Blackmore is our producer, and Andrew Adams is our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Arthur and Palmerston. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. The Blue Jays struggled to get the bats going yesterday in a vintage Luis Castillo performance, scoring 1 run on 2 hits in a loss to the Mariners. George Springer returns to the lineup today, though, trying to jolt the offense with Justin Turner back and available off the bench as well. Springer bats on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
With 2024 training camps around the corner, SiriusXM NFL Radio looks back at the best moments from last season.
To Brandon Ayuk, it's deflected.
Oh, he caught it! Caught. Join host Alex Marvez as he brings you the top plays of 2023, the spectacular efforts, the game-winning plays, and the reaction from the voices that called the action.
How about that crazy play?
Catch NFL Radio's top plays of 2023 anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app. Radio Network.
Yariel Rodriguez has pitched 6 2/3 today. For now, giving up 1 run. He has been really good. By far the best we've seen from Rodriguez in his major league career. And all the infielders and catcher Alejandro Kirk giving him fist bumps before he hands the ball off to John Schneider. He takes his cap off. A big and well-deserved applause from the Rogers Center faithful, putting up his cap to the crowd who are on their feet for the right-handed starter.
Best outing of the year, really. Slider was good. Heater was good. I don't think he faced more than 4 hitters in an inning. Basically everything that we could have asked for out of him today.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider after the July 1st start of Yariel Rodriguez. His most recent start, he goes today against the Seattle Mariners in Game 2 in Seattle, Washington. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, what do you look at from that last Rodriguez start that you think he can take and bring into today?
Well, first of all, let me mention really quickly, when I played for Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh, he always told us, when the crowd acknowledges you, you have to acknowledge them back. You have to tip your cap. You have to do something to acknowledge the fact that they're praising your outing. And I just have to point out that Yariel Rodriguez did just that. He took off his cap. He acknowledged the huge ovation that he got on Canada Day. And I'm really impressed with that. Like I said, I'm really impressed with his demeanor on the mound. I'm impressed with his fastball command. And just he might turn out to be a guy that is cheap. 5 years, $32 million. I know that sounds like a lot for a guy that didn't ever throw a pitch in the big leagues, but if he continues to pitch like he did in his last start, he'll be cheap.
Yariel Rodriguez going today against a youngster in Emerson Hancock, who will make just his 12th career start going for the Mariners in just a couple of moments. Before we get to that, though, let's go back to baseball control. Here is Show Ali and Jesse Rubinoff.
Thank you very much, Ben. Welcome back, everyone, inside baseball control. Before we check out the lineups and the Bet365 standings update, let's bring in my battery mate, Jesse Rubinoff. And Jesse, look, a tough night for the offense last night. 1 run on 2 hits. It was a Kiermaier solo home run. What are you looking out for from the biggest Jays bats this afternoon against Emerson Hancock, who has been mentioned, not a lot of starts from so far this year, and today Springer back atop the lineup and Horwitz batting second behind him.
Yeah, I'd like to see George Springer continue his run. He's been heating up since June 25th, batting .452, 4 home runs. It's been every single month for the most part has been a struggle outside of July, and I'd love to see him just continue this run. It does so much for the Blue Jays, especially back at the top of the lineup. We saw a couple of games ago, Springer, Bo, Vladdy were doing it together, scored on Bo's sacrifice fly, and you just want to see that pattern continue over the next few games.
How important is it also, and we heard Ben and Chris talking about Y-Rod, Yariel Rodriguez, with a phenomenal start on Canada Day, 6 2/3, 1 earned run, issued just 2 walks. He struck out 6, 83 pitches thrown. Very efficient the last time out, easily the best start of his major league career. How does he keep that going today? And again, the Mariners are a team that have struck out the most in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, for all the issues we talk about the Toronto Blue Jays offense, the Seattle Mariners offense has their fair share of issues as well. And Yariel Rodriguez throws his fastball 40% of the time, also throws slider, curveball, sinker, and split finger. But the Seattle Mariners have the lowest average in the major leagues versus the 4-seamer, batting just .217 against that. So I'm going to be interested to see what percentages Yariel Rodriguez throws his fastball at, whether it ticks up to about 50 or so. take advantage of the fact that the Mariners really struggle off the fastball. Yariel's got a pretty good one, and we'll see if he can utilize it today.
We saw a healthy dose of the fastball from Kevin Gausman last night. I'm sure we'll see more from Yariel Rodriguez. That's Jesse Rubinoff. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. He and I have the post-game show both after this game and tomorrow as well. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. You can text us anytime, certainly right now, 590-590, name and location. That's the People's Text line, and it's always open. Let's check out the standings update, courtesy of Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19-plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Lots of games underway already, but entering play today in the American League East, the Orioles atop the division. They are 56-32. The Yankees are 54-36. The Red Sox are 48-39. The Rays are 44-44, and the Blue Jays, they are 39-49. Before we send you over to Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue, the lineups for both teams. Here's John Schneider's. George Springer is batting leadoff. He's in right field. Spencer Horwitz is at second base, batting second. Batting third is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's at first base. Bo Bichette is batting cleanup. He's at shortstop. Danny Jansen is DHing today, batting fifth. Dalton Varsho is batting sixth in left field. Catching is Alejandro Kirk. He is batting seventh. Batting eighth is Ernie Clement at third base. And in center field, batting ninth, is Kevin Kiermaier. For Seattle, J.P. Crawford is at shortstop, batting first. Batting second is Josh Rojas. Batting third is Cal Raleigh. He's DHing today. Julio Rodriguez is in center field, batting cleanup. Luke Raley is at first base, batting fifth. Mitch Garver is catching today. He is batting sixth. Dominic Canzone is in left field, batting seventh. Mitch Haniger is batting eighth. And Dylan Moore is at second base, and he is batting ninth. Emerson Hancock, it will go for Seattle. And as we mentioned, Yariel Rodriguez will go for the Blue Jays. We are getting close to first pitch. Let's get you over to the action. Here's Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue with the call of today's game.
Thank you very much. Show the first inning about to get underway, and it's brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Georgia's Emerson Hancock on the mound right now, getting some warm-up pitches in. He's 3-3 this season with a .479 earned run average. He's made 8 starts, 24 strikeouts to 13 walks, in 41 1/3 innings pitched. And he was called up today to make this start, his third stint with the Mariners this year, in because Brian Wu remains on the injured list with a strained hamstring.
And if you look back at his AAA numbers, he's 2-1 with a 1.64 ERA in 7 games started. So Emerson Hancock is no slouch. That's the Pacific Coast League is a tough place to pitch and to have a low ERA. And Hancock with that 1.64 ERA, that tells you he's a very good pitcher.
Hancock, the Georgian, was drafted out of Georgia, 6th overall in 2020. One pick after the Blue Jays took Austin Martin at 5. He stands 6'4", 213 pounds, and he will toss from the right side. George Springer leads off for the Blue Jays. He was off yesterday. Spencer Horwitz will bat second, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting third. Toronto struggled to get it going against Luis Castillo in yesterday's game. Only hits came for them in the 6th, including their lone run scored on a Kevin Kiermaier solo shot. With the regular leadoff man in there and stepping in the box, they hope to correct that today. Springer taps the plate, looks out toward Hancock, the righty, and play is called in. Hancock into the wind, the pitch. Missed outside with a fastball, 1-0. 4:11 Eastern, 1:11 local is the time of first pitch. It's a beautiful day in Seattle again, 27 degrees and sunny. 1-0. Fouled on the ground left side, 1-1.
Isn't it always beautiful there this time of year, though?
I think so. It doesn't get as hot as maybe, the Southwest.
And it doesn't rain as much, right?
I don't know about that. I think it rains a fair bit, but I actually, I don't have a lot of time logged in the Pacific Northwest. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him there, threw the changeup with a lot of movement. 1-2. 4-seam, sinker, changeup, and slider for Hancock. Uses the fastballs the most. His 1-2. Springer lines a ball deep left field, going back to the wall, and it's off the wall, bouncing into the glove of the left fielder Canzone. Head first dive into second. George Springer is safe with a leadoff double.
That was a great swing from George Springer off the wall in left field. He goes Superman into second base. It's a way to start off a ball game if you're George Springer.
Springer, a guy who the Seattle fans know very well from his time in Houston, did not give him much of a warm welcome yesterday, and he returns the favor with his first at-bat of the day, turning into his 12th double of the season. So he's on second. Nobody out. Here's Spencer Horwitz, who had one of the 2 Blue Jays hits yesterday, also had a walk. Right on left, the pitch from Hancock. Outside, ball 1.
That Superman head first dive into second base looked like it hurt a little bit, didn't it?
He got some serious air on that dive. Horwitz batting .315 in 24 games. The 1-0. Popped up behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike as that one lands into the seats. Eye black on for Horwitz. White batting gloves. Blue Jays in their deep blue jersey today. A look at second, the 1-1. Hancock misses low with the sinker. Typically, he's going to throw his 4-seamer more, Emerson Hancock, to lefties. His sinker a little bit more to righties. He'll also use his changeup more to left-handed hitters. The 2-1. Hit on the ground right side, foul, 2-2. Hancock goes to the back of the mound to grab the rosin bag for a moment, walks back up the hill. Looks in at Horwitz, who's in the box, bat over his left shoulder. 2-2. Swing and a fly ball, left field line, slicing and foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Spencer Horwitz again fighting off some tough pitches, taking some tough pitches. I guess that's just who he is.
Another 2-2. Down and in, ball 3. Took a tough back foot slider to work a full count. You mentioned the battle. It's been 6 pitches already. Hancock against Horwitz in this first. George Springer on second base. No score and nobody out top of the first inning. The set from Hancock and the payoff. Swing and a ground ball foul down the left field line. Slapped that ball and it almost stayed fair, but was just wide of the third base bag. Last pitch from Hancock was 96. Not going to see much harder than that. 3-2 again. And again fouled off. Reached down below the zone and sent a 95-mile-per-hour fastball over the netting behind home plate.
I mean, this is starting to get ridiculous. How many pitches he sees, how many tough pitches he fouls off. I think that's the most impressive thing.
Horwitz has fouled off 5 in this at-bat. 3-2 pitch is fouled off again. Make it 6. Well, I think we see it with Justin Turner, and it's something to marvel at. And Turner is as experienced as anyone around. This is a guy who is under 50 games played in his major league career. 3-2 once more. Rolled over right side softly, picked up at first. Raley flips back to the pitcher Hancock, who steps on first for the out. That'll move Springer up to third base. But finally, after 10 pitches, Spencer Horwitz is retired.
And even though he didn't get a base hit, he did his job there. You'll see everybody in that dugout give him some high fives, moving George Springer over to third with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. coming to the plate.
A mixed, mostly positive reception for Vlad coming up to the plate in Seattle. Lots of Blue Jays fans again. And the Blue Jays trying to score in the first. Springer on third, 1 out. The pitch from Hancock. Rolled over foul. Think that hit Vlad in the top of his left foot. It's 0-1.
Yeah, he's heavily guarded on that ankle, on that shin bone, but I think it might have got something, part of his foot that's not guarded. He's limping around a little bit.
Infield in for the Mariners. Second baseman Moore on the grass. 0-1. Fouled back, up and in with the heater. It's 0-2. Guerrero 0 for 4 yesterday, but still leading the Blue Jays with a .293 average, 13 homers, and 50 runs batted in. The 0-2. Lined left side, caught at short by a leaping Crawford, and there are 2 down. Crawford had to jump up and snatch it on the backhand side. Wasn't the sharpest liner of all time, but still a tough play for the shortstop.
Yeah, I think Vlad hit that off the end of the bat. You're right. Not the sharpest line drive, but he was about 2 inches away from getting a base hit there and scoring that early run.
And Crawford was playing in, so he had to be really quick with the reaction. Bo Bichette steps up, and a pitch clock violation on Bichette before the at-bat starts. So Bo is down in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Springer on third, 2 outs. No score, top of the first. The pitch outside, that'll even up the count at 1-1.
Bo wasn't very happy about that. Both palms were up in the air. You could see him muttering under his breath, shaking his head. But hey, you got to know the rules.
20th pitch of the inning from Hancock. Bichette fouls it off the glove of the catcher Mitch Garver, 1-2. Show Ali mentioned when he was doing the lineups just before the game, but it's Garver behind the plate today and Raleigh DHing. It was the opposite yesterday. Hancock in the set. Kicks and delivers. Down and away. Stabbed at by Garver. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Springer leading off in foul territory. The 2-2. Up and in, ball 3. Slider spun out of the hand of the righty. Bichette taps the plate, looks out at Hancock, who's set. Glove near his chest, the 3-2. Fouled off to the left. Bichette bounces it down the third baseline and stays alive.
Tough sinker right there. Off the plate inside. Bo just gets a piece of it to stay alive.
Sinker is the pitch, though, that you want to jump on Hancock. He's allowed a .333 average to that pitch in the majors. 3-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Put the changeup past him to strike out Bichette and strand the leadoff runner, the double by Springer. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Blue Jays. Middle of the first, no score, Toronto and Seattle. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about 99 right down the middle? Beats Manzardo.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the first inning, Blue Jays at T-Mobile Park. Yariel Rodriguez into the wind. His first pitch to J.P. Crawford. Outside, ball 1. No score in this game. Blue Jays had a leadoff double in the first, but stranded it. Now Rodriguez on for his 7th start of the season. The 1-0. Just misses the outside edge. 2 balls and no strikes.
I think the major thing that I'm looking for today from Yariel is how he bounces back from that start. 6 2/3 innings. By far his longest start of the season.
2-0. Called strike.
And he's a guy that really hasn't started that much in the entirety of his career. So I want to see where his fastball is, the velo, the command, all those things to see if he's bouncing back.
Righty gets into the wind. Twists and delivers. Called strike again.
And already you can see the velocity is a little bit down, 93, 92 with a fastball there. Not alarming, but probably something that is expected.
Rodriguez went 6 2/3 in his last start. 2-2 count against left-handed hitting J.P. Crawford, who stares out at Rodriguez, sunglasses on. The pitch. High, full count.
And there's that good fastball, 96. You could tell he dialed it back a little bit on the first few pitches, and then he let one rip right there at 96. That's the velo that I want to see.
3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Crawford yelling at himself after cutting through that fastball at the top of the zone. 1 down.
Well, that's a tough fastball to hit. You can see Yariel dropped his arm just a little bit, a little horizontal run to that fastball. I'm not sure what he's upset with. That's a tough pitch to hit at the top of the strike zone.
First out for Rodriguez, who's 0-3 this year with a 4.63 earned run average. Now 24 strikeouts and 13 walks in just under 24 innings. First pitch to Josh Rojas, outside, 1-0. Dan Merzel is behind the plate today. Jordan Baker umpires first. Canadian Stu Sherwater at second and Mark Carlson at third. The wind and the 1-0. Just misses high and away. Rojas batted 9th yesterday, moves all the way up to 2nd today, hitting .259 on the season, 4 homers. The 2-0. At the knees, strike 1. Knees bent in the left-handed stance for Rojas. Pant legs hiked up, showing the dark socks. 2-1. Popped up, foul territory behind the plate, moving toward the third base side. Clement gives it a look, but that's behind the dugout and into the seats. 2-2. Positive day yesterday for Rojas, the Mariners batter. Doubled and walked, struck out twice in 4 plate appearances. 2-2. Bounced the curveball in front of the plate.
There's 5 lefties in this lineup today. I would love for Yariel to mix in that split finger, something that goes arm side. We haven't really seen much of it this season from Yariel Rodriguez. He tends to lean on the fastball more so.
Fastball called strike 3. Just grabbed the outside edge with that 4-seamer. Rojas doesn't like it. That's his 2nd straight strikeout for the righty.
Well, it might have been a hair off of that strike zone, but that is a good pitch. Alejandro Kirk might have stole that strike there with a good frame. That was about a hair off, but a very good pitch.
Tough pitch to take with 2 strikes.
Yeah, 2 strikes. You shouldn't be taking that pitch. At least try to foul it off.
So 2 down. Here's Cal Raleigh. Switch hitter batting left. The pitch. Hit on the ground, right side. On the run, it's stopped by Horwitz. He throws to first, and Guerrero pointing right back at him for the good play. A 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Yariel Rodriguez. A scoreless game. Blue Jays and Mariners, we head to the 2nd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find out who will finish first in America's 2nd city.
And they say it's hard to pass here on the streets of Chicago. He's proven that he can do it.
Listen to the Grant Park 165 on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
Out onto Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, Illinois.
Plus, our exclusive Driver to Crew chatter puts you inside the cars as they race through the streets of Chicago.
Thank you, guys.
Don't miss a lap tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
3:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Grant Park 165 from the Chicago Street Race.
Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays in Seattle. Top of the second inning about to start. The first pitch from Emerson Hancock lands on the outside edge to Danny Jansen. 0-1. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Righty into the wind, the pitch. Inside. An important substitution in the middle of the first and second. Yariel Rodriguez, without making a play or swinging the bat yet, is out of this game. 1-1. Popped up, foul right side into the seats. 1-2. Ty France has entered to play first base. Luke Raley has moved from first to center. And Rodriguez is out of the game. When we know more, we'll let you know. Next pitch. High. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jansen, a .225 hitter, DHing today. Awaits a 2-2. Swing and a liner left side, caught on a leap by Crawford at short. That one was hit right at him, but a second leaping catch in as many innings for Crawford.
Yeah, that one was just a little bit easier than that first one he made in the first inning off of Vlad's bat, but like we talked about yesterday, he is very good out there. Not swinging the bat all that well, but he's still a very good defender.
So 1 out, and here's Dalton Varsho. The pitch. High, ball 1. Varsho batting .198 on the season. 15 doubles, 3 triples, and 11 homers. The pitch. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Very hunched over in his stance is Varsho, waggling the bat above his left shoulder. 2-0. Called strike. I think a miss there with the changeup for Hancock, but he threw it so high that it kind of buckled Varsho.
Yeah, it still has a ton of movement on it. That's his second best pitch outside of those 2 fastballs that he throws, and he's very confident with it.
2-1 fastball misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
He throws his 4-seamer 32% of the time, that sinker 31% of the time, and then he'll throw that changeup 20% of the time. So a pretty high percentage.
3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Yeah, I mean, it's quick math. It's not exact, but about 2/3 of his pitches are going to be fastballs. Hancock tugs on the brim of his cap. Now tucks his hand into his glove. From the wind, the pitch. Bounced foul right side. Alejandro Kirk on deck. Danny Jansen was just retired. 1 out, bases empty. Another payoff pitch coming from Emerson Hancock. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on the changeup. Second strikeout of the day for Hancock, and 2 down in the top of the second.
That is a tough pitch, especially in a 3-2 count. It looks like a fastball and then just drops off the table. Dalton Varsho swings right over the top of that thing.
So 2 outs in the top of the second. Nobody on, and the catcher Alejandro Kirk is up. Hancock's pitch. Called strike one. The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-1 pitch outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. .6'4" righty winds. 1-1. Kirk slaps it down the right field line, a base hit rolling toward the corner. Cut off by Mitch Haniger. Kirk will stop at first, but he's got a 2-out single.
Actually, a really good swing right there. One of the better swings we've seen from Kirk in a little while. Takes that fastball almost on the black outside and just drills it down the right field line. Could have been a double, but Kirky stays at first base.
Second Blue Jay hit of the day. And that sets up Ernie Clement here with Kirk on first and 2 outs. Hancock from the stretch. Clement hits the first pitch in the air. Center field, Raley, who just moved out there, veers into right center and makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays come up with a 2-out single but leave Kirk on first. Still a scoreless game, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So, you want to be a loony dogger, eh? Are you the relish ringleader, seventh inning snacker, TikTok topper, or ketchup king? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the home run hound or value virtuoso, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fielded at second. Horwitz steps on the bag, throws to first. Double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the second inning in Seattle. Scoreless ball game. Blue Jays and Mariners. Thanks for spending your Saturday with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Ty France will lead off for the Mariners, batting in the spot of Julio Rodriguez. First pitch. Inside, 1-0. Yariel Rodriguez on the mound after a 1-2-3 bottom of the first with 2 strikeouts. Righty winds, pauses, and pitches. Swing and a miss by France, who was fooled by that slider way down and away. 1-1. So Julio Rodriguez out of this game after an inning. He was supposed to be the cleanup hitter today. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. And even if you go back to the bottom of the first, when Cal Raleigh was batting, France was on deck for Rodriguez. So in theory, whatever happened before the bottom of the first. 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Obviously, even though it hasn't been Rodriguez's best season, that's a huge blow for Seattle.
Well, no, Yariel Rodriguez would much rather face Ty France than Julio Rodriguez. That is a huge difference in skill set. And like you said, Julio Rodriguez not having the best season, but he can still go yard anytime.
2-2. Outside. France on the season, a .232 hitter. 8 homers and 29 RBIs. Yariel waves off his side, now steps to the side. His 3-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Deep left, but Varsho's got some room. Just in front of the track, fighting off the sun, he makes the catch. 1 out.
Ooh, that sun is dangerous. Yeah, you could see him fighting off the sun. He has the shades on. I'm surprised he wasn't using that bare hand, that throwing hand, to kind of shade his eyes from the sun, but Varsho's so good out there, just makes the play pretty easily.
It's a high sun with it being 1 o'clock Pacific time for first pitch of Blue Jays and Mariners. First pitch, Rodriguez to Luke Raley, bounces 1-0. 0-0, 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the second. Raley began as the first baseman, now the center fielder. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Luke Raley bats from the left side, hitting just under 250, 9 home runs. One. Upstairs. Typically, Raley is a guy that you can get to chase a little bit. He has walked 8 times and struck out 75 times this season. The wind and the offering. Called strike 2. Rodriguez maybe gets a bit of a break there on a curveball that looked a little bit off the plate outside.
Well, I think he got some help from Alejandro Kirk. Alejandro Kirk has been so good all season long throughout his career, stealing strikes for pitchers.
Now the 2-2. Outside with a curveball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes Rodriguez's 25th pitch of the start. Hit on the ground softly to second, fielded head high by Horwitz, who slings it over to first. 2 outs.
And there was that split finger that he should throw more often this game because there's so many lefties in this lineup. That thing was nasty, especially in a 3-2 count. That shows some confidence right there.
Chris mentioned it in the first inning. 5 guys will bat left today, 4 true lefties, and the switch hitter Cal Raleigh. One of the right-handed hitters, Mitch Garver, is up, the catcher. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. And that was the first splitter of the day by Rodriguez. 2 down in the bottom of the second. Still waiting for our first run in Seattle. Bases empty in the 0-1. Just outside.
I would imagine because it was a good result, he threw it for a strike. We'll see a bunch more of those split fingers going forward.
Rodriguez waving off the sign, now nods. Gets into the wind, twists, and deals. Check swing, pitch inside, appeal to third, or pardon me, to first, no swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue glove for the righty. Tucks the ball into the glove and tosses a 2-1 pitch. Called strike. Rodriguez walks to the back of the hill for a moment, now back on the first base side of the rubber. Standing tall on the mound. A breath, and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. High heat gets Garver to chase. 3 strikeouts in 2 scoreless innings for Yariel Rodriguez. Scoreless ball game as we go to the 3rd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. Get to the ballpark early to enjoy outdoor activities before continuing the fun inside while you cheer on the Blue Jays.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom. Visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the third inning, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Arthur and Palmerston. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Scoreless game in Seattle. Kevin Kiermaier fouls off the first pitch of the frame from Emerson Hancock. Here's the 0-1. High. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Hancock's allowed 2 hits and thrown 39 pitches through 2 innings. He faces the #9 hitter in Kiermaier. The 1-1. Fouled off to the left, 1-2, and I guess it's someone's special day right now as a loud happy birthday chant goes on in Seattle. Pretty good way to spend your birthday. 1-2. Rolled over to the right side, picked up at first by France. He'll wave off Hancock and jog to the bag himself. 1 out.
That would be a nice birthday trip if you were from British Columbia in the area and you drive down with your families, catch a Blue Jays game against the Mariners.
Oh, I'm taking that any day.
It is a gorgeous day.
27 degrees at first pitch. Just after first pitch, George Springer doubled in the first. He's up now. First offering from Hancock is at the knees. Strike 1. This is the 118th time that Springer has played against the Seattle Mariners. 0-1. Inside. 65 RBIs against the Mariners in Springer's career, and he just hit his 44th extra base hit against Seattle in his career as well. 1-1. Fouled back. A mistake slider over the middle, but Springer just missed it. 1-2.
Well, you could tell what Springer wanted to do with that mistake right there. That was a big cut. The pitch was right down Broadway.
Springer taps the plate twice, looks out at Hancock, who takes a breath, gets into the wind. The pitch. Down and away. That changeup has been dangerous today, but Springer lays off of it. 2-2.
Yeah, he's thrown it to lefties. He's thrown it to righties. Very comfortable throwing that changeup.
Now the 2-2. Inside, ball 3. You mentioned Hancock's minor league numbers off the top of the broadcast. He just won Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Month with an earned run average below 1 in 4 starts in June. Hauled up today to make his 9th start of the year. 3-2. Springer hits it on the ground to France at first, who forehands it and goes to the bag. 2 outs, both via a ground out to first.
And you can kind of see why he's been so good in the PCL, why he was drafted 6th overall by the Seattle Mariners. He's got a lot of run on that fastball, 94, 95, which isn't top shelf velo, but when you have the kind of run that he has, it makes it that much more unhittable.
First pitch slider to Spencer Horwitz misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. No score, nobody on, 2 outs, top of the 3rd. Hancock on 50 pitches, brings his glove up and deals. Horwitz rips it on the ground foul down the right field line, 1-1. A ground out to first, back in the first. At the time, moved the runner Springer from 2nd to 3rd. It was a productive out, but the Blue Jays didn't bring Springer home. 1-1. In the dirt. Horwitz adjusts his helmet, Wipes off his eye for a second. He's got eye black on a sunny day. 2-1 pitch. Down and away, ball 3.
And like you mentioned before, we're not sure if that actually does anything. Looks good, though. It definitely looks good.
If you like it. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count. I mean, you see tons of football players do it in indoor stadiums. That's when it's really not doing anything for you. But I don't mind it. Fans getting loud in Seattle. Full count, 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a bouncer foul. Might have been ball 4, but Horwitz still sends it behind him on the ground to stay alive.
Yeah, it might have been ball 4, but Spencer Horwitz just trying to fight those tough pitches off to stay alive. Too close to take.
3-2 again. Outside, that's definitely ball 4. Horwitz tosses the bat away, and he is aboard with 2 outs.
And yet again, a great at-bat. I mean, he is just so impressive up there. Every single AB taking tough pitches and fouling off tough pitches, and that at-bat right there is no different.
He gives an opportunity to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to hit this inning with a runner on first and 2 down. Scoreless game. Hancock from the stretch. Vladdy swings and misses, 0-1. Not so long ago, this was the site of the home run derby victory for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A 1. Swing and a foul off, 0-2. It was quite the derby after Vlad dispatched Mookie Betts. He met Julio Rodriguez in the second round, who had just set a record with 41 homers in the previous round. 0-2. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But kind of like Vlad in his legendary first home run derby where he set records but didn't win, Rodriguez used a lot of his energy in the first round, and Guerrero just edged him out to make the final and beat Randy Arozarena. 1-2. Swing and a foul fly ball down the right field line and into the seats.
That was a pretty fun derby. A lot of young future superstars.
Yeah, you had Adley Rutschman, Luis Robert, Arozarena, Guerrero, Julio Rodriguez, Pete Alonso.
Some studs.
Mookie Betts as well, Adolis Garcia. But Vlad won it. Here's the 1-2. He swings and shoots a ball foul down the left field line.
I guess Mookie Betts was the only non-young future superstar in that group.
Garcia's not super young, I will say.
Well, he's a little bit unknown, I guess.
He was a late bloomer.
Yeah. I played with his brother Adonis.
Really?
Adolis and Adonis.
Swing and a miss by Guerrero on the 1-2. He loses his bat, and that's it for the top of the 3rd inning. A walk for the Blue Jays, but nothing more. No runs, no hits, 1 left, and no score middle of the 3rd at T-Mobile Park. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power. That is bold. And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on Sirius XM.
Joseph, you got it. Wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1 Eastern at the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new Sirius XM app. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on Sirius XM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one. Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year.
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning in beautiful Seattle. Blue Jays and Mariners still searching for a run. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Yariel Rodriguez, a big reason this game is scoreless. He's gone 6 up, 6 down. He gets Dominic Canzone to start the home half of the third. Right on left, the pitch. Fouled back, 0-1.
You know what I've noticed about Yariel? He's a big fist pump guy.
How do you feel about that? Do you like it?
Well, it's a very subtle fist pump, but he is a fist pump guy. I like it.
It's a little Tiger Woodsy. 0-1. Swing and a bouncer over the mound. Picked up by Bichette coming across second, throws over to first. 1 out.
You're right. It is a little bit like he just sunk a putt and not like he just struck somebody out.
Hey, I'll take it either way.
Yeah.
1 out. Here's Mitch Haniger, the right fielder. Blue Jays will move their entire infield over against the pull side right-handed hitter. Spencer Horwitz, the second baseman, is up the middle. Guerrero at first, way off the line. The pitch. Just low, 1-0. Haniger hitting .209 this year, 10 doubles, 7 homers, and 31 runs batted in. 1-0. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elbow protector on the left elbow for Haniger. 1-1. Bounced, 2 balls, 1 strike. He brings his elbows up really high, the right-handed hitter. Almost tilts the barrel of his bat down toward the dirt as he's waiting for a pitch. Two-1. Swing and a fly ball, right center field. On the run, Kiermaier back in front of the track. Makes a two-handed catch, fighting off the sun. He protected himself at the last moment, but still made the play. Now talking with George Springer. There are 2 outs.
Yeah, just like we talked about last inning, that sun is really, really affecting those guys. Obviously, they've played enough games where they know how to shade the sun from the ball, but you can tell that thing is tough. Kevin Kiermaier with the shades on out there making the catch.
I almost wonder, I don't know, but I almost wonder if Springer is saying, hey, maybe at my angle, that's an easier play for me with the sun. First pitch to Dylan Moore. Second baseman takes outside, 1-0. 2 outs and the base is empty, bottom of the third inning. Scoreless, Blue Jays and Mariners. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hit in the air, foul down the right field line. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. When it comes to home improvements, Timbermart has the expert advice and the right products at the right price, so you won't find yourself out in left field on your next DIY project. Game on, home team. Timbermart is Canada's building center. 1-1 pitch is high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Rodriguez nods, now his 40th pitch of the start. Inside, almost hit Moore, 3-1. Dylan Moore, a .207 hitter, leads the Mariners with 14 doubles and 3 triples, also has 8 homers. 3-1. On the inside edge to bring us to a full count. Moore came up with a single and a walk yesterday, batting for the first time today with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Asks for time and now steps back in. A tap of the plate. He's looking out at Yariel Rodriguez. The righty nods, steps to his left, kicks, and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 95 right down the middle. He put it past him, and that's 4 strikeouts and 9 up, 9 down for Rodriguez. No score after 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The battle for European soccer supremacy has reached the knockout stage, and all the drama of the Euros is on Sirius XM.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
Every match is now win or go home, and they can all be heard on Fox Sports Channel 83.
That is sensational!
Before and after the matches, hear what the experts are saying on Sirius XM FC 157.
They are proven winners right now.
No one is covering Euro 2024 like Sirius XM. Listen in the car or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Fourth inning, scoreless game in Seattle. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bo Bichette takes strike 1 from Emerson Hancock, and the 4th is underway. Bo is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The 0-1. Hit in the air, shallow right field, and drifting into foul territory. First baseman France swipes at it and makes the catch. Another awkward play due to the sun, but there's 1 out.
Yeah, that sun is right behind home plate, so basically any fielder is looking directly up at that sun when they're trying to make a play. Ty France right there with an awkward catch on that foul pop-up from Bo Bichette.
Haven't seen any balls drop in today, but a lot of uncomfortable catches. 1 out, the pitch to Danny Jansen, low, 1-0. The 4th inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 1-0 pitch, low again, 2-0. Two hits and a walk allowed by Hancock. 2-0. Sinker for strike 1. Danny Jansen's 0 for 1 with a line out. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That was the changeup that breaks a foot downward. Jansen over top of it, 2-2.
Yeah, it's basically sinker changeup for him today. His slider's okay. It's more like a big cutter, but that changeup is nasty.
The wind in the 2-2. Flared out toward right field. France racing back, and it'll land in foul territory just beyond the first baseman. Dalton Varsho waiting on deck. Alejandro Kirk would be after him if the Blue Jays get a runner on. Jansen with the bat above his right shoulder, waits on another 2-2. Swing and a fly ball right field. Going back, Haniger has a beat on it and makes the catch. 2 down.
And there was another one of those changeups this time. Didn't really sink that much. Kind of floated up there. Danny Jansen got some good wood on it. Probably about 15 feet from that wall in right field, but I think Hancock got lucky with that one.
It's a tough place to hit in Seattle. About the hardest to hit in the majors this year. In part due to the ballpark and in part the good pitching by the Mariners. First pitch to Dalton Varsho, cut on and missed. Strike 1. Varsho 0 for 1 today. He struck out on that aforementioned changeup in the 2nd. Right on left, the next offering. Is line toward right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Looked like it jammed Varsho, but he just had enough on it to get it over second baseman Dylan Moore. And it's 2-out hit for the Blue Jays.
Well, Hancock missed his spot by a lot. I think you're right. That did jam Varsho, but he's strong enough to just muscle it out there and into center field.
It's the third inning in a row that the Blue Jays come up with a 2-out base runner. Alejandro Kirk started that trend with a hit in the second. He's up now in the fourth. Hancock will step off and check on Varsho. Dalton Varsho has 8 stolen bases this year. He's been caught twice. Takes a pretty healthy lead off first base. Hancock in the set and the pitch. High, ball 1.
I think this is a good time to go right here. You need to get into scoring position, especially with 2 outs.
Again, a 4-step lead for Varsho, held on by the right-handed first baseman Ty France. 1-0. Outside, 2-0.
I think the only problem is Hancock seems to be pretty quick to the plate.
There's not a lot going on in his delivery. It's pretty simple. Righty looks over at first base. Now the 2-0. Swing and a line drive, left center field, and it's over the head of Canzone, off the base of the wall. Varsho around third. He's getting the wave. The relay's bobbled in shallow left center, and Varsho scores. RBI double, Alejandro Kirk. It's 1-0 Blue Jays.
Well, when you hit balls like that, you don't need to send the runner. Alejandro Kirk hits that ball on the screws to the base of the wall in left center. He is seeing the ball very well today. His second hit of the ball game.
His 8th double of the season and 20th RBI. He tattooed that ball 109 miles an hour off the bat. And Blue Jays fans getting loud now. The pitch to Ernie Clement is lined to left field, hooking toward the corner. And that's going to be a foul ball. Kind of like Rogers Center. There's maybe 5 feet of foul territory when you get deep into that corner with the retaining wall there. And Clement, unfortunately for him, just found a spot in those 5 feet.
Yeah, he wasn't even sure if that was going to be fair or foul. Probably foul by about 2 feet.
For Kirk, by the way, that double is the 4th hardest ball he's hit all season. The 0-1. Clement takes it. It's a called strike. So 1-0 Toronto. 2 outs, top of the 4th. Kirk on second base. Oh-2 pitch. Swing and a foul off. Clement just got a piece of that changeup below the knees. Ernie took a walk around the plate after stumbling a little over the plate, fouling off that pitch, but he's back in the righty box. 0-2 again. Swing and a liner. Left field base hit. Kirk moves up to third. He'll stop there. It was a shallow liner, so no chance to score on that one, but it's a base hit for Clement. It's 3 hits in a row for the Blue Jays, and they have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing right there is unless a ball gets in a gap or down the line, Alejandro Kirk is not scoring from second base. He has to stop at third. But a good swing from Ernie Clement right there.
I do wonder, though, on that shallow liner to left, how many guys do you think, or who do you think on the Blue Jays does score? Because I don't think it's everyone.
Oh, nobody. I don't think anybody. Maybe a couple guys, but that's a tough ball to score on.
Maybe a Varsho or a Kiermaier.
You at least send them. But you might be getting thrown out at home, though.
Pete Woodworth, pitching coach, went out to the mound to talk to Emerson Hancock, who all of a sudden has run into some trouble here in the 4th. 3 2-out hits by the Blue Jays. Kevin Kiermaier coming up with runners on the corners, 2 outs, and the next pitch for Hancock will be his 80th. Kiermaier bats from the left side. Hancock, the righty, peeks at first at Clement, comes set, and the pitch. Down and in, ball 1.
80 pitches through 3 2/3. That is a ton of pitches.
And it's an interesting bullpen situation for the Mariners today. Andres Munoz and Ryan Stanek, the closer and setup man, have each gone 2 days in a row. 1-0. Called strike on the outside edge, a perfect sinker. Kiermaier homered in yesterday's game, the lone Blue Jays run. 0 for 1 today. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front on the changeup, 1-2.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to elevate with something hard here. You throw that good changeup, and we've seen Kevin Kiermaier struggle with that velocity at the top of the strike zone.
Clement off first, Kirk off third, 1-2. High fastball beats him. A foul tip into the glove of Garver, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. The Blue Jays, though, come up with 3 2-out hits. An RBI double from Alejandro Kirk gives Toronto a 1-0 lead. Middle of the fourth in Seattle. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 Blue Jays, thanks to an RBI double by Alejandro Kirk. Kirk in the crouch behind the plate, Yariel Rodriguez on the mound. And the pitch to J.P. Crawford. Called strike 1. Top of the order in this home half of the fourth, J.P. Crawford, Josh Rojas, and Cal Raleigh. Wind in the pitch. Popped up, out of play, back behind the seats. 0-2. For Yariel Rodriguez, 42 pitches through his first 3 innings, an average of just 14 pitches an inning, and he struck out 4. Righty twists and deals. Swing and a bouncing ball, hit to second base, picked up by Horwitz. He'll throw over to first, 1 out.
And there's that split finger again. That's two very good split fingers in this game. I really hope that that's a pitch that he uses more often, especially to those left-handers, tough left-handers.
He'll face another lefty batter in former Arizona Diamondback Josh Rojas coming up now. 1-0 Toronto, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1. Let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. First, the 1-0 pitch from Rodriguez. Outside again, 2-0. Join St. Louis Bar and Grill for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate. Your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-0 in Seattle. Blue Jays leading. Here's the 2-0. Outside, ball 3.
I think I know where you're going with this out-of-town scoreboard.
Take a guess.
I was just thinking something soccer.
No, I'm actually not. I'm going to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where an MLB record was set today. 3-0. Called strike 3-1. Jose Miranda of the Twins entered today with 10 hits in his last 10 at-bats, and with hits in each of the first 2 at-bats today, he tied a record for 12 in a row. 3-1 pitch high and outside, ball 4. In the expansion era since 1961, he has the longest streak. He's tied with a couple different guys pre-1961. Miranda also reached in 13 straight plate appearances as he was actually hit by a pitch in his first time up and then came up with a pair of hits. His streak did end in his last at-bat, but he singled twice, and Minnesota beat Houston 9-3. Runner on first from the stretch, the pitch to Cal Raleigh, called strike 1.
I think the most impressive thing about that is you have to get extremely lucky to get 12 hits in a row, because you could hit the ball in the screws right at somebody.
For sure. 0-1. High and tight.
I want to know how many broken bats he got during that streak. How many little bloopers over the first baseman. There's got to be a stat for that somewhere.
Oh, you could just... It's only a couple games of video.
That's true, I guess. At it. I'll let you do it.
Don't count on it. Runner on first, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Blue Jays. The pitch to Raleigh. Low. That was another splitter. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Miranda's a 320 hitter. Obviously, you have to be pretty good to do that. But like you said, there is certainly a luck element to it.
Not a huge element of luck, but at least a little bit of luck involved.
2-1 pitch inside, 3-1. Rodriguez didn't allow a base runner until that Rojas walk. Now he's fallen behind Raleigh, who has 9 home runs in 16 career games against the Blue Jays. 3-1. Downstairs, ball 4, back-to-back walks.
Yeah, he's lost it all of a sudden. Hopefully he can find it in this next at-bat. Otherwise, he's going to find himself in some trouble here. Here comes Pete Walker.
With that, we'll continue on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Chris, remember when the Yankees were in town with the Blue Jays and Ben Rice was really impressive for the Yankees?
I do.
Well, today, he added to that. Rice hit 3 home runs today in a single game for New York. The rookie hitting his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th career homers to help the Yankees snap a 4-game losing streak. They beat the Red Sox 14-4 at Yankee Stadium.
Well, he had 15 home runs, I believe, this season at AAA and 20 home runs last year in just like 76 games or something.
73 games.
73 games. So there's a ton of juice there. I think the Yankees might have found themselves a first baseman, at least for in the meantime when Anthony Rizzo's out.
Yeah, he has been a huge add, Rice, over the last little bit, even though the Yankees have scuffled. 1 out, 1st and 2nd, and the Mariners' first baseman, Ty France, is up. Open stance for the right-handed hitter. Rodriguez peeks at 2nd, the pitch. Down and in, ball 1.
This would be a perfect time to just flip in a breaking ball, get that extension, feel the extension out front. He's very erratic with that fastball right now.
Rodriguez from the first base side. The 1-0 pitch is lined to left field. Varsho on the run, dives. Did he get it? He did. Throwback to 2nd, and they doubled up the runner Rojas. Dalton Varsho, are you kidding me? Goes into a full somersault after the diving catch and tosses out the runner off second base to end the inning. On a second look, he definitely made the catch. Another phenomenal play, and that'll do it for the 4th. No runs, no hits, one left. 1-0 Blue Jays as we go to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Move like nobody's watching. And explore today's dance music on BPM. Your groundbreaking DJs and producers like the Chainsmokers, Tiesto, Calvin Harris, and more. Exclusive DJ sets and the biggest EDM tracks. SiriusXM BPM, Channel 52, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
I'm Rocco Mediate. Music and golf are coming together on Rolling the Rock with Alice Cooper and me. I'll talk with the rock and roll legend about his career and passion for the game that we all love.
There's a putt, must be 90 feet long, and you make that putt, or walking off and you say, I could never make that putt again in
100 years. PGA Tour Radio is your exclusive home to Rolling the Rock, and you can hear the show anytime with the SiriusXM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
At Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning in Seattle. Dalton Varsho with a remarkable play in left field to get 2 outs and end the 4th has sent George Springer up in the 5th with Toronto leading 1-0. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Springer fouls off the first pitch.
Can we find the catch percentage?
I'll get it for you. Here's the 0-1. Down and away. If you weren't with us before the break, Varsho dove for a liner in left center, and it kind of handcuffed him. He caught it just under his chin, rolled over, and threw to second to double off a runner. 1-1. Called strike.
And then Scott Service actually came out to talk to the home plate umpire, and we weren't sure what he was arguing, because if you thought that he didn't catch it, just challenge. That's all you really have to do.
1-2 pitch is hit softly but foul down the right field line. Now here's where I'm going to have some issues with catch probability. And I know we talked about the 5% catch probability yesterday, so I am being a bit of a hypocrite, which I'll acknowledge. It says 40% catch probability. That feels high.
That's really high. That's really high.
1-2. Check swing. Roller down the first baseline. Hancock picks it up. He won't make a throw. That one stayed right on the line. The swinging bunt for Springer, and Hancock fumbled with it at first and then decided to eat it, which is probably the right play. It'll be a base hit for George Springer.
Yeah, I think even if Hancock comes up with that baseball, there's no way he gets George Springer at first base. He would have had to thrown over his shoulder or over the entire body of George Springer, and that just wouldn't have worked out well for him. George Springer with the little bunt single there, swinging bunt up the first baseline.
Hancock on 88 pitches now deals to Spencer Horwitz. Called strike 1. Springer is the team leader in stolen bases. He's got 9. Turn and throw over to first, and a dive back by George Springer. Ty France taps him on the helmet with the baseball and then tosses it back. Those two chuckling over at first. Hancock has the ball again. Peeks at Springer. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss.
I'm still thinking about that 40% catch probability. That is wild. I thought maybe 12 to 15% at most.
outside, 1-2. And if I understand correctly, catch probability is not factoring in where Dalton Varsho is positioned on a play. So it's about launch angle, distance, exit velocity, 1-2. Swinging a bouncing ball to the right side, foul, still 1-2. And so that nuance is taken out of it a little bit when you look at how far Varsho had to go to get that ball.
So that makes more sense. That's why the percentage is so high.
One, two again. And it hit him right on the ankle. Horwitz goes down in a heap. And now is sitting up, taking off his shin guard. He will get back up. That hit him on the front right ankle. It looks like he's all right, but he's a little bit slow to get going. Jose Menestral, the trainer, and John Schneider, Blue Jays manager, are out to check on Horwitz.
Yeah, that can't feel good. Right on the inside ankle bone. He has that shin guard on. He has the top of the foot guard, but I think that got him where there was no guard, right on the ankle bone of the right leg.
That'll bring Scott Service out to the mound. I will correct, they do count starting position for catch probability just before we send it back to baseball control. So unsure why that Varsho one was 40. But Horwitz hit by a pitch. Springer up to second, 2 on. Nobody out. 1-0 Blue Jays in the top of the 5th. Let's go to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Jesse Rubinov is here at Baseball Control with me. He and I have the post-game show both after this game and tomorrow as well, actually. I'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out, and you can text us anytime right now if you like, certainly. 590-590, name and location, please. That's the People's Text line, and it is always open. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Let's start with the Euros. They continue. The quarterfinals wrapped up. We already had Spain and France set for a semifinal clash. Earlier this afternoon, England beat Switzerland on penalties, and they will take on the Netherlands. The Dutch beating the Turks 2-1 earlier. So Spain, France will go Tuesday. England, Netherlands will go Wednesday afternoon. Over at Copa America, Canada is off to the semifinals as well after beating Venezuela in penalties. It's a historic win for Canada at their first ever Copa America. And they will now take on Argentina and Lionel Messi in the semis. That game will be on Tuesday, July 9th. At 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some scores from around Major League Baseball. Red Sox at Yankees. After a wild ending to last night's game, which Boston won 5-3. Less drama today. The Yankees absolutely obliterating the Red Sox 14-4. Yankees rookie Ben Rice going yard not once, not twice, but thrice. He becomes the first Yankees rookie ever to hit 3 home runs in a game as the Yankees crush their rivals. Astros at Twins. The Twins bounced back from a tough loss last night. Today they win 9-3. Jose Miranda becoming the first player since 1952 to record a hit in 12 consecutive ABs. And Orioles at Athletics. Cade Povich getting absolutely lit up by Oakland. Right now the Athletics lead top 4, 12-0 in Oakland. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Show. 2 on for the Blue Jays. Nobody out. Top of the 5th. Colin Snyder, the righty, is on for the Mariners to face Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-0 Blue Jays. A huge plate appearance coming up right now. First pitch to Guerrero. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line. Long run, Haniger slides into foul territory. It gets down, and Haniger slams into the wall. A good effort. He's up, and that's the good news. He's chasing after that ball that landed foul. It's 0-1.
Well, that was foul by about 3 or 4 feet down that right field line. Yeah, you're right. He slams into that short little wall there.
So a near hit for Guerrero, but also a near out for Snyder, who's making his 10th appearance of the season, has allowed 2 earned runs in 9 innings. 0-1. Swing and a miss, and Guerrero loses his bat. 3rd time in 2 games this series that he has lost his bat on a swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
I think Guerrero was just dumbfounded that he keeps letting go of the bat. You could see him throw both of his arms up in the air, both of those palms facing the sky. I think a fan has a souvenir there. He'll probably have to give that bat back, but they'll get him something.
It's a good trade out of him.
Yeah.
It's the second time, though. It's not that high of a net in Seattle. It's the second time his bat has gone all the way into the stands. And he even kind of lost his bat on his strikeout in the third, but not all the way off to the left, just behind him. He's got a bat back in his hand. Springer on second, Horwitz on first. And the 0-2. Down and away, ball one.
Does he have padding on his right hand? Is he? I mean, he might
so.
not. I was just thinking if he has some padding on that right hand from getting hit the other day by Garrett Cole, maybe that's what's making him lose the bat so often.
1-2. Swing and a soft liner headed to left field. That's down for a base hit. Springer getting the wave. Here comes the throw from Canzone. It bounces in just late. A head first dive by Springer. And the Blue Jays have doubled their lead. 2-0 Toronto thanks to the RBI single by Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Well, that's a great two-strike swing right there. Protects the outside corner. That good slider from Snyder. And he just dumps that thing into left field. That's a big send from Carlos Fablis at third base. Nobody out, sending George Springer. If I'm Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I'm thanking Carlos Fablis for that RBI right there.
Vlad's 51st of the season. Springer was on his horse and needed all of it. First pitch to Bo Bichette, called strike one. And on the other side, if you're calling Snyder, you're probably thinking, can I make a better pitch on that slider than the one that I just made? That was off the plate. Righty's 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. Bo Bichette is up. He's 0 for 2 today. He's excelled in these situations this year. Bichette is batting .356 with runners in scoring position, 6th best in the American League. Horwitz on second, Guerrero on first, no outs. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Beats him on 96 on the inside edge, 1 out.
That's a tough AB right there. Couple good sliders, and then that 96 right on the black on the inside part of the plate just ties him up. Such a tough pitch to hit.
Snyder throws a sweeper, a cutter, that hard four-seamer, and a sinker as well. His pitch now to Danny Jansen. Swing and a pop-up. Middle of the diamond, right over the mound. And the second baseman Moore makes the catch. 2 down. Infield fly rule was in effect. The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. As a big fan of small biz, Desjardins awarded another $3 million to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. 2-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs top of the 5th, 2 on, and Dalton Varsho up. He's had a good day so far. Right on left pitch. Called strike one. At the plate, Varsho is 1 for 2 with a run scored, and in the field, he just made a diving catch to start a line-out double play. Oh, 0-1 offering. Way high and outside. Varsho's driven in 36 this year. Horwitz on second and Guerrero on first. The 1-1. Just a little bit off the plate away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Colin Snyder on the mound. Reliever for the Mariners. Kicks and fires. Swinging a bouncing ball foul near the first base dugout. 2-2. Runner on first base is Snyder's. He just gave up the RBI single to Guerrero. Runner on second base still belongs to starter Emerson Hancock, who was knocked out of the game without recording an out in the 5th. 2 outs and the 2-2 pitch. Swinging bunt back over the mound, missed by the pitcher. Over at second, a collision between Guerrero and Moore, the second baseman, and Vladdy is called out. That's going to be interference on Guerrero, who's arguing that Moore intentionally stepped into his path to make the play, and Carlos Fablis immediately is pulling Guerrero away. Mark Budzinski and John Schneider will deal with second base umpire Stu Sherwater. If the fielder is in the act of making a play, then It's on the runner, and as we get a second look, I think that was the right call. Guerrero called out an interference, but he comes up with the RBI single, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0, middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA world descends on Sin City, and NBA Radio has you covered for every second of Summer League.
Connect. Goes strong to the basket. Scores, and he's fouled. Just what the doctor ordered.
We're bringing you courtside with the decision makers and legends of the game.
The Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The Lakers, they have AD. He's awesome.
Hear live coverage from Summer League starting Friday on NBA Radio Channel 86 in the all-new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90
Network.
Bottom of the fifth inning, Blue Jays leading 2-0 in Seattle in Game 2 of this series. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, where Yariel Rodriguez is back out on the mound, and the first pitch misses down and in to Luke Raley. Toronto just added to its lead with a Vladimir Guerrero RBI single, although Guerrero running into a fielder in the process of making a play ended the inning. 1-0. Outside 2-0. And as the rule states for runner interference or offensive interference, when a fielder is in the process of making a play, he has the right of way. Moore was charging a ground ball, and just incidental contact, Guerrero ran into him trying to get to second. 2-0 pitch called strike. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike, the count, Rodriguez to Raley.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was arguing there. He was pretty animated, though.
2-1. Swing and a soft liner. Left center field. It's down for a base hit just out of the reach of Bichette. That's the first hit today for the Mariners.
That's a tough first hit. That's a good pitch right there on the inside part. Jams him, and he gets it over Bo Bichette's outstretched glove and just into left field for the Mariners' first hit.
So Raley's on first, talking to Guerrero. Nobody out. Rodriguez back on the mound to face Mitch Garver. From the stretch, the pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Medium depth left field. Barcho now charging in a little bit, keeps coming in and makes the catch. Ended up being shallower than it looked initially. 1 out.
Well, I think that was part of the reason, but also that sun is right in his eyes. You can see the shadow. Barcho was dealing with that thing, and that ball was hit pretty high as well.
So 1 out now. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard as the Blue Jays lead 2-0 in Seattle. The Oakland A's lead 13-1 over the Baltimore Orioles in the bottom of the fourth in Oakland. First pitch to Dominic Canzone, low, 1-0. Shea Langoliers with a couple of hits and a 2-run homer. Max Schumann with a 3-run homer. Brent Rooker with a 3-run homer. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be a balk, actually. No pitch there as Rodriguez never got to a full stop. And that will move up the runner Raley from first to second. No pitch on the play. Elsewhere on the out-of-town scoreboard, 2-0 Texas over Tampa Bay. Cincinnati leads Detroit 2-0 The White Sox up 3-2 on the Marlins. Runner on second now, one out, and the 1-0 to Canzone. Fouled off to the right. Canzone hit that, I believe, off the top of his leg, and he is crouched over, banging his bat into the ground right now, trying to deal with that pain.
That fastball from Yariel actually cut on the inside part of the plate. That's why Canzone had a tough time, and all he could do was foul that pitch off. But every once in a while, you'll get that cut on that fastball. 94-95, such a good pitch. I don't know if he does that on purpose, but it's a very effective pitch.
Righty looks at second, and the 1-1. Fouled back again, 1-2. Canzone appears to be doing all right. Speaking of, we'll go to the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. Life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company. Get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prera will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. First, the 1-2 pitch from Yariel Rodriguez. Outside, 2-2. Justin Turner, activated from the paternity list today, is in Seattle and available for the Blue Jays off the bench, according to John Schneider. Addison Barger was optioned to AAA in the corresponding move. Two-two. Check swing on a slider, down and in. And no swing. It's a full count. Also today, Jimmy Garcia is set to make his first rehab appearance since an elbow injury put him on the injured list. Buffalo's game starts at 6:05 Eastern. 3-2. Fouled back. Couple bounces and over near the third base dugout.
Do we know how many games he's going to appear in for Buffalo?
There was a question asked yesterday of John Schneider. Could it just be one? He said it could be one, but it might end up being two. They're going to have to wait and see, he said, until he throws the first one to see how he feels. 3-2. Swing and a fly ball, right field. Springer broke back, but now comes in. Running into it, makes the catch. He will toss it over to third, or rather to the shortstop, Bichette, as the cutoff. No move from second by Raley, and now two down.
That's a good answer from John Schneider. You have to see how the guy bounces back from however many pitches he's going to throw, however many innings he's going to throw. We've seen so often where a guy feels great and he wakes up the next morning and can't lift his arm, and then he goes back on the IL.
I think the last thing the Blue Jays want right now is more time without Garcia. If it's 2 extra days to avoid another 2 weeks of him being gone, I think they'll take that for sure. 2 outs now, runner on second, 2-0 Blue Jays. Pitch to Mitch Haniger's high. I know not technically the injury report, but Eric Swanson at AAA Buffalo has had back-to-back positive appearances after a string of some tough ones in a row. 1-0. Swing and a bouncing ball foul, 1-1. Swanson on July 1st pitched a scoreless inning in 2/3 with only one base runner allowed, and then pitched another scoreless inning in 2/3 with one base runner allowed and 2 strikeouts on the 4th. Rodriguez set with his glove near his chin, the 1-1. Swing and a pop-up behind the plate, foul, and into the seats off to the right, 1-2.
Has John Schneider said anything about Eric Swanson specifically working on something, mechanically or pitches or something like that?
I think a lot of it was location they said they were working on, because they liked the movement on his pitches still and the velocity. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider gets Haniger, a big fist pump from Rodriguez. He's through 5 scoreless. We go to the 6th with the Blue Jays up 2-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The MLB Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care. I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dived and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 6th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. First pitch of the 6th is fouled off by Alejandro Kirk, 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kirk is 2 for 2 today with a single and an RBI double. He plated the first run for the Blue Jays, who lead 2-0. 0-1. Swing and a miss, waved at a fastball high, 0-2.
Not only is he 2 for 2, but he has hit 2 balls on the screws.
That double in the 4th was really well hit. Oh, 2. Foul back. Still Colin Snyder for the Mariners, the reliever who came in with nobody out in the 5th, and 1st and 2nd he allowed 1 inherited run to score, but that was all. 0-2 pitch is lined by Kirk to left. That's a 3rd hit of the day as it rolls into the glove of Dominic Canzone. Alejandro Kirk stops at first. He's having quite the day.
Yeah, Kirk went down and got that slider from Snyder. Just a good piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Didn't really hit that on the screws. Got it off the end of the bat, but I think that Alejandro Kirk will take it. 3 for 3 in this ball game.
He has more hits today than the Blue Jays had yesterday. Kirk was out of the lineup yesterday for Toronto. Here's Ernie Clement. First pitch popped up, foul, back of first. France ranging onto the side warning track, and it's off his glove and down. The sun had been a factor all day, and this is the first time that it stings anyone. France made a late break to the side, and it hit off the side of his first baseman's mitt and slammed into the dirt.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, that sun is right behind home plate, and Ty France was looking up at that sun, trying to catch that little foul ball. He had a tough time. Well, he had a tough time earlier. That one right there just clanks off of his glove.
So an extra life for Clement, the 0-1. Swing and a soft liner right side, gets down, picked up by the second baseman, throw over to first by Moore, and he got him by half a step. That's a tough play made by Dylan Moore, who was positioned up the middle, had to run way over to his left and catch that humpback liner off a hop before throwing out Clement.
Well, I was hoping that would be a base hit. I want to see the exit velo on that thing.
46.5 miles an hour.
Definitely didn't hit that one on the screws.
And out for Colin Snyder in this inning, and that will be his day as Scott Service, Mariners manager, comes out and takes the baseball. Pitching change for Seattle with Toronto up 2-0 and a runner on second in the top of the 6th. Let's go to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Another reminder that Jesse Rubinov is here at Baseball Control with me. He and I have the post-game show, both after this game and after tomorrow's game as well. I'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. You can text us anytime at 590-590. Name and location, please. You can do so right now if you like. The People's Text line is always open. Let's check out some scores from around Major League Baseball. 3 finals already. We talked about a couple of them already. The Astros losing to the Twins 9-3. Jose Miranda becoming the first player since 1952 to record a hit in 12 consecutive ABs. Elsewhere, the Yankees get 3 home runs from rookie Ben Rice. They demolish the Red Sox 14-4. Games going on right now. The Reds beating the Tigers in Cincinnati 2-0. The Marlins trailing the White Sox 3-2. Bottom of the 5th inning in Miami. The Giants, who the Blue Jays are taking on later this week, are trailing the Guardians in Cleveland 4-3. The Athletics, lots of runs scored at the Coliseum. They are up 14-4, top of the 5th inning on the Baltimore Orioles. Yesterday, the Rays got blanked by the Rangers 3-0. Today, top of the 7th. They do have 2 outs, but runners on 2nd and 3rd. The Rangers do lead 2-0. The Mets lead the Pirates in Pittsburgh 3-2. The Nationals blowing away the Cardinals 11-5 as well. A little bit later on tonight, we'll get Phillies, Braves, Brewers, Dodgers, Royals, Rockies. And to wrap things up, Diamondbacks, Padres. Manny Machado hitting a walk-off home run yesterday to give the Padres the win. And for the Raptors fans out there, we'll hear from all 3 of Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Masai Ujiri. The media availability has been set for Monday morning. So we'll hear from those guys on Sportsnet on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Former Blue Jay Taylor Saucedo on the mound. Back to the action. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. Saucedo in to go left on left with Kevin Kiermaier. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Runner on second for the Blue Jays is Alejandro Kirk. There's 1 out, and Toronto's up 2-0 in the top of the 6th. As Joe mentioned, Saucedo, a Blue Jay in 2021 and 2022. 0-1. Big sweeping breaking ball breaks over the plate for called strike 2. This season, the best of Saucedo's career, 29th appearance, a 2.38 earned run average. The 0-2. Just missed, down and away. Lefty's in the low 90s with his fastball, but he's got a big slider and a big changeup. Will flip in an occasional curve and sweeper as well. A look at Kirk and the 1-2. Fouled off of the catcher and I think off of Kiermaier again. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Saucedo has really been tough on left-handed hitters this year. A 139 average against. 1-2. Bounced off Kiermaier's back ankle, and he tumbles down to the ground in front of the plate. Is still sitting down with his bat out of his hands. He'll slowly get back up.
Yeah, and 33 ABs this season for Kevin Kiermaier. He's hitting 152. I mean, he's only hitting 189, so it can't really be that high, but he's only hitting 152 against lefties.
And for Saucedo, it's 5 for 36 that lefties are against him to get to that 139 average with only 1 extra base hit. Right-handed hitters, conversely, hit over 300 against the southpaw Saucedo. George Springer is on deck. Kiermaier back up and good to go. Kirk leading off second. 1 out, 2-0 Blue Jays. Road half of the 6th. The kick and the pitch. Called strike 3. Fastball over the heart of the plate, and Kiermaier is out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, that's just a tough take right there. You can't take that pitch with 2 strikes, a runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs. It's a big no-no right there. That pitch was very hittable right down the middle, maybe the lower part of the strike zone, but you could see Kevin Kiermaier flipping the bat, not overly excited about that.
First pitch to George Springer is up and away, ball 1. 2-hit day for Springer, a booming double and then a swinging bunt. That was a single to the pitcher in the 5th. 1-0. Outside. Saucedo, the tall lefty, is, I would say, a side armor. It's pretty close, but does throw from the side. 2-0. Low 3-0.
There's a gray area between sidearm and low three-quarters. I feel like they're very similar.
He almost starts sidearm, but then comes a little over the top near the end. 3-0 to Springer. Ball 4. Didn't really come close there, and perhaps okay with walking Springer because Spencer Horwitz is due up next, but out of the dugout, Horwitz gives a high five to Davis Schneider, who will pinch hit in his spot.
I really don't love this decision. We've seen Spencer Horwitz dominate against left-handed pitching. But I guess Davis Schneider, just a right-handed hitter, a power potential. And Spencer Horwitz really doesn't have the power that Davis Schneider has, but we'll see what happens.
Visit out to the mound by Pete Woodworth. It was one game, but he did hit very well. 2 hits off Framber Valdez and the hit off Josh Hader. And this could be a twofold switch in a way because, A, like you said, the left on right matchup. Also, the Blue Jays have defensively replaced Horwitz at times at second base when they're leading in a game. So perhaps here they accomplish 2 things with this substitution, both getting Schneider in to hit and presumably having him play second base going forward.
And I guess the one thing I do like about this matchup is Saucedo doesn't really have an overpowering fastball. It's 90 to 92, somewhere around there. That's Davis Schneider's sweet spot.
Schneider in the box off the bench. First and second, 2 outs. The pitch. Low ball 1. Schneider batting .213 on the season, 15 doubles and 10 homers. Saucedo in the set and the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefties 1-1. Schneider takes inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-handed hitter Davis Schneider pinwheels the bat twice, looks out, and the 2-1 offering. Inside, ball 3. First and second right now, a 3-ball, 1 strike count, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on deck.
Well, I can almost guarantee that Saucedo does not want to face Vlad. So he's probably going to come with something here over the heart of the plate. He could still throw an off-speed pitch here, but something for a strike for sure.
3-1. Swing and a miss. Actually went just a hair below the zone with a sinker, but Schneider was geared up to swing there and swings over top of it. 3-2. Runners will get a head start on the pitch. Kirk from second and Springer from first. 2-0 Blue Jays, top of the 6th with 2 outs, the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him to chase another fastball low, and Saucedo does the job to strand Kirk on second and end the inning. 2-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tap into exclusive performances from the world-famous Tipitinas as the biggest names in R&B descend on New Orleans.
Y'all join me in welcoming Tyrese, ladies and gentlemen.
We're taking you to the Big Easy during Essence Festival.
They took this record #1 for me, so give it up for them.
All weekend long, the Essence Festival on Heart and Soul, Channel 47, and on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The battle for European soccer supremacy has reached the knockout stage, and all the drama of the Euros is on SiriusXM.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
Every match is now win or go home, and they can all be heard on Fox Sports Channel 83.
That is sensational!
Before and after the matches, hear what the experts are saying on Sirius XM FC 157.
They are proven winners right now.
No one is covering Euro 2024 like Sirius XM. Listen in the car or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 6th inning in Seattle. Blue Jays up 2-0 on the Mariners. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. First pitch of the inning from Yariel Rodriguez is swung on and popped up by Dylan Moore. Back of second, Schneider will give way to George Springer, who makes the catch in shallow right center. 1 out. Davis Schneider remaining in the game for the Blue Jays after pinch hitting for Spencer Horwitz last inning. Schneider stays in at second. For Yariel Rodriguez, pitching now in the 6th inning, he's given up 1 hit and 2 walks today. No runs so far, 5 strikeouts. Top of the order now, 3rd time through. The pitch to J.P. Crawford. Called strike 1.
And he just threw his 75th pitch of the game. But Trevor Richards is warming up in that Blue Jays bullpen.
Oh, 1 offering. Breaking ball fouled off the mask of Kirk and bounces off to the right side. 0-2. As Richards gets loose, we'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. His former team, the Rays, have mounted a bit of a comeback. First a nod and the wind from Rodriguez. His pitch. In the dirt with the splitter. 1-2. The Rays down 2-0 to Texas have taken the lead now 3-2. Yandy Diaz with a 3-run homer in the 7th inning, his 8th of the season, has made it 3-2 Rays on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 2-0 Blue Jays, 1 out, bottom of the 6th, and the 1-2 pitch. Just outside with a fastball. Still very sunny at T-Mobile Park. The shadow of Rodriguez right behind him on the mound. Righty twists and deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bounced the slider. Crawford does not run down to first, though. That'll be the 6th K for Yariel Rodriguez.
Yeah, that thing was nasty. A lot of tight spin, downward action. See a little bit of a subtle fist pump from Rodriguez. It's a big pitch right there. A big strikeout.
About to throw his 80th pitch. Rodriguez has 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Deals to Josh Rojas. Called strike 1. Next strikeout for Yariel would match his career high. He struck out 7 at San Diego on April 19th. 0-1. Just misses. 1-1.
If he gets out of this inning under 85 pitches, is there a chance that he goes back out for the 7th?
I would say there's a chance, but I'm not sure I'd bet that way. 1-1 pitch popped up right side of the diamond. Davis Schneider, the second baseman, calling for it. He's got it. And that's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th. 6 scoreless innings for the Cuban righty Yariel Rodriguez. 2-0 Blue Jays as we go to the 7th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views. So, whether you're the relish ringleader or 7th-inning snacker, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. Don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Bring it in,
morning, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
We're twomeninatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the ball game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 7th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. From one former Blue Jay to another, Taylor Saucedo out, Trent Thornton in to pitch for the Mariners, and the first pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. called strike one. 2-0 Toronto. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Thornton making already his 41st appearance of the season, a 3.79 earned run average. Righty's 0-1. Breaking ball cuts over the plate for called strike two.
I just noticed a guy holding up a sign that read Stanley Cup champs since '94, USA 30, Canada 0.
Those teams were so laden with Americans leading the way. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball. Shallow down the right field line. Big sprint. Haniger slides and it pops out of his glove. That's a base hit. Guerrero thought about second. He will race back to first with a bloop leadoff single. Vlad started this series 0 for 6. He's got hits in each of his last 2 at-bats.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great overall in this series. A lot of strikeouts, but he will gladly take that base hit right there. Mitch Haniger with a pretty nice attempt there.
Just dropped in front of his glove, but he did enough to keep the ball in front of him that Vlad had to remain at first. Now the pitch to Bo Bichette outside, 1-0. Vlad hit the fastball for Thornton. He's got a sweeper and a slider that he uses a ton. He throws breaking balls over 60% of the time. 1-0. Swinging a foul off as Bichette hits the hard slider down the right field line. Two 2-0 Blue Jays. Guerrero on first. No outs, top of the 7th. The pitch. Swing and a liner, left field. That's down for a hit. Guerrero up to second for Bichette. It's his first hit of the series, and the Blue Jays have 2 on with nobody out.
That was actually a pretty good swing from Bo Bichette. A tough slider. You could see Bo pulling his hands in and getting the barrel to that baseball. It was a slider almost on the inside part of the plate. There's some relief on the face of Bo Bichette right there. That's a good swing, a good result. I'm sure he's thrilled about that.
So Bichette has his first hit of the series. Can Danny Jansen do the same? Jansen is up now. He's 0 for 3 today, went 0 for 3 yesterday. There are 2 on with nobody out. He caught Thornton for a handful of years. The pitch. Yanked down and away, and it skips off the glove of Garver and goes to the backstop. Guerrero up to third, Bichette up to second on what might go down as a wild pitch, might go down as a pass ball.
I'd assume that's a wild pitch. That's a tough pitch, way outside, 98 miles an hour. Not the prettiest of plays, but I think that's going to be a wild pitch.
You are right. They do rule it a wild pitch. Tough one, too, for Garver, who's just making his 9th start at catcher this season, mostly a DH. Infield in for the Mariners, second and third. 1-0 pitch is laced foul off to the right, 1-1.
Big spot in this ball game. Nobody out. Runners on second and third. Blue Jays up by 2. A lot to think about right here if you're Danny Jansen.
With decent speed at third, a medium depth fly ball probably scores Guerrero. 1-1 pitch is up and in. Jansen takes. They're playing Danny straight up in the outfield. Center fielder Luke Raley is right in the middle of the grass. 2-1. Swinging a chopper to third base. Picked up by Rojas. He'll throw over to first, and the runners can't go anywhere. That's one out.
In that situation, if you're Danny Jansen, the only thing you're really trying to do right there is get the bat to the baseball, make something happen. There's nobody out, so even if you hit a hard line drive or hit a fly ball, it's not the end of the world, but the infield is in, so the chances of you getting something through the infield are pretty high. So just get the bat to the baseball and see if something happens.
Dalton Varsho about to come up, but to load the bases and avoid a right on left matchup, they intentionally walk Varsho. That brings up Alejandro Kirk, who's 3 for 3 today. He also has caught Trent Thornton in his career, too. Kirk with a single to right in the second, a double to left in the fourth, and a single to left in the sixth.
Well, I think the Mariners know that Alejandro Kirk is an easy double play. They might be rolling the dice right here with that. Let's see where the infield plays. Yeah, I think the infield is actually, the middle infielders are actually playing back at double play depth.
Yeah, it's a good point. It allows the infield to cover more ground, less chance of something sneaking through. Thornton, a Blue Jay from 2019 to 2023, deals to Alejandro Kirk. First pitch outside, check swing. He went around, says Dan Merzel. 0-1. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 0-1. Swinging a liner. Deep right field. Haniger going back. Makes the catch right on the edge of the track. Guerrero tags. He'll come in to score. Almost looked like the bases were about to be cleared, but still a productive play from Kirk. It's a sacrifice fly, and it's 3-0 Blue Jays.
Well, he hit another ball on the screws. Just missed his 4th hit of the ball game. He would have got 3 RBIs there. That would have been fun to see Alejandro Kirk 4 for 4.
He remains 3 for 3, though. No at-bat and an RBI for Kirk. His second run batted in the game. And now 2 outs and first and second. Here's Ernie Clement. Clement's 1 for 3. The pitch. Called strike. Runner takes off for second. Throw in late. Dalton Varsho has stolen the base. And pardon me, a double steal. So Bichette steals third. They threw over to second. But the Blue Jays have gone from first and second, 2 outs, to second and third. Interesting, they went after Varsho, although it is a tough throw to third with a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, it's tough, but Bo had that base stolen. He was already in his shuffle even before Trent Thornton started his motion.
Next pitch to Clement, fouled off. Pitch was a strike on the first one. That one fouled off, so it's 0-2.
But still pretty hard to throw Dalton Varsho out at second base as well.
For Bichette, his 5th stolen base of the year. For Varsho, his 9th. Tying George Springer with the team lead. Single can score 2. The 0-2. Hit on the ground, left side, picked up at short by Crawford. He'll throw it over to first in time and end the inning. The Blue Jays add on a run after hits to start the frame by Guerrero and Bichette. Alejandro Kirk comes up with a sacrifice fly. It's 3-0 Toronto at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
This is the best I've ever seen.
The competition's heating up on America's Got Talent.
Yeah!
Heart-pumping performances.
This season, everything is 10 times better.
And must-see moments.
You absolutely nailed it.
It was incredible.
The word is epic.
With $1 million dream on the line.
You've got a real shot at winning after that.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, and Andrew Adams, our technical director. Bottom of the 7th, Trevor Richards on for the Blue Jays, protecting a 3-0 lead. The pitch to Cal Raleigh, high, ball 1. For Richards, his 39th appearance of the season, an earned run average just above 2.5. 1-0. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. 3-4-5 for the Mariners. Raleigh, France, and Rayleigh. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Big changeup there. And leaning out in front, Raleigh couldn't get a piece of it. It's 2-1. The kick and the pitch. Another swing and a miss on another changeup. It's 2-2.
His changeup has been so good lately. He's just getting the right extension. He's getting on top of it. And it's not even like a changeup. It's like a split finger. It's so violent.
It's almost like a forkball, which doesn't get thrown anymore.
Let's start calling it that.
Sure. 2-2. Fastball just inside. Might have been a good take by Raleigh. Might have been surprised by the heater. It's a full count. Three-two offering. Called strike 3. Fastball at the knees. 1 out.
And those are the kind of takes you see a lot with Trevor Richards. Just fastballs right down the middle. Hitters expecting a changeup. And they get that 93-mile-an-hour four-seamer right down the middle. Cal Raleigh just walks slowly back to that dugout. He definitely wants that pitch back.
Raleigh retired, the first batter that Richards faced. And Richards is the first reliever for the Blue Jays as Yariel Rodriguez's day just ended. First pitch to tie France up and in 1-0. By the way, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, that game that we've been tracking, the Texas Rays game, keeps going back and forth. Former Blue Jay Marcus Semien with a 2-run homer. Texas is now up 4-3. They've taken the lead back. 1-0 pitch to France, hit in the air, down the right field line and foul, 1-1. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. On the subject of Rodriguez, though, with Richardson, his day is done. 6 innings, 1 hit allowed for Rodriguez, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. 1-1 pitch is a changeup, hit foul into the netting, 1-2.
I mean, his day was incredible. He had that one little blip where he walked 2 guys in a row, but then he got the help from Dalton Varsho out in left field with that double play. But he was great. He just, a lot like his start against Houston on Canada Day, he just was great the whole time.
1-2 pitch, fastball at the knee, strike 3, freezes another Mariner as France goes down, and there are 2 outs.
Another guy up in that batter's box expecting a changeup right there. Didn't like that call, but that was a strike right at the bottom of the strike zone at 94.
France just doubled over after taking that pitch, shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout. Here's Luke Raley. First pitch. Changeup hit on the ground to second, picked up by Davis Schneider. He throws to first, and that's a very tidy 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Richards. 2 strikeouts, and he sends us to the 8th. 3-0 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
With 2024 training camps around the corner, SiriusXM NFL Radio looks back at the best moments from last season.
To Brandon Ayuk, it's deflected.
He caught it! Join host Alex Marvez as he brings you the top plays of 2023, the spectacular efforts, the game-winning plays, and the reaction from the voices that called the action.
How about that crazy play?
Catch NFL Radio's top plays of 2023 anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87 and the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
It's the 8th inning in Seattle, and the Blue Jays are leading 3-0. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday. Toronto with runs in the 4th, 5th, and 7th has held the lead. And now they'll try to add on a little bit more, starting with Kevin Kiermaier leading off in the top of the 8th against a new pitcher, former Oriole righty Mike Baumann. Baumann entering in now his 34th appearance of the season, split between Baltimore and Seattle, a 4.13 earned run average. His pitch to Kiermaier. Swing and a hard grounder foul, third base side, 0-1. Mike Baumann designated for assignment by the Orioles on May 20th, despite at that point holding an earned run average below 3.5. 0-1. Inside. Since joining Seattle, though, he has not pitched as well. His earned run average just with the Mariners is 5. This is now his 17th appearance with Seattle. 1-1. High, 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's a tough DFA.
Yeah.
I would be very upset if that happened to me and I had an ERA of under 3.5.
He was traded to Seattle for a prospect after being designated for assignment. 2-1 pitch is hit well by Kiermaier, right center field, racing back Raley. That ball is over his head and bounces into the seats. A ground rule double for Kevin Kiermaier.
A good swing right there from Kevin Kiermaier. That fastball was 96 up and in. He gets those hands through, gets the barrel to it, and just misses a home run by about 5 feet. I think he'll take that double, though.
One hops the wall, and I believe it landed in the hands of a fan in a Jose Reyes jersey.
Sure looks like it.
So nobody out in the top of the order up. Kiermaier on second. Pitch to George Springer. Check swing. Breaking ball was low. 1-0. Springer's 2 for 3. He's got a double, a single, a walk, and a run scored. 1-0. Breaking ball misses high, 2 balls and no strikes.
And I think even if the Blue Jays do end up scoring another run here and getting out of that save situation, I believe that Chad Green will still pitch in this ball game.
Now the 2-0. Down and away, ball 3.
Not only because the Blue Jays need this win, but there's also an off day on Monday. So he can pitch today, he can pitch tomorrow, and then take that off day and be ready for Tuesday.
No one is up in the Toronto pen right now, which could signal that Richards gets the bottom of the 8th after a very efficient 7th. Bauman's 3-0. Fastball right down the middle at 97. Strike 1. For Bauman, it's that hard fastball, a knuckle curve, a slider, and a seldom used changeup. Looking at Kiermaier on second, 3-1. Springer takes upstairs, ball 4. He's walked for the second time today and is on base for the 4th time today.
Yeah, he's seeing the ball well. That's really all you can say about him. His approach is just completely different than what it was early on in this season.
That'll bring Davis Schneider up for his second at-bat. Schneider came off the bench and struck out in the 6th. First and second, no outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. By the way, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the A's are putting up a score that the Raiders might have at Oakland Coliseum. It's 17-4, Oakland over Baltimore in the 7th. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 0-1 to Schneider. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Toronto has its fair share of hits today, but they have left 11 on base. 11 hits, but 11 left on. 1-1 outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position today. An Ernie Clement single that didn't score a run, and a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. single that did. 3-0 Toronto. 2 on, no outs. 2-1 pitch is high and outside, ball 3, and a hitter's count here for Davis Schneider. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. waiting on deck, 2 for 4 today. Bauman's given up a double and a walk. His 3-1. Swing and a miss. Slider right at the top of the zone. It's a full count. Schneider steps out of the box, now back in. An underhanded half swing, and he brings the bat above his right shoulder. 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. A walk for Schneider, and the bases are loaded.
That's definitely not what you wanted to do if you're Bauman. Load the bases with nobody out. For Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you can hear the crowd.
And they're not cheering for Pete Woodworth, who's walking out to the mound right now to check on his pitcher. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is about to come up with the bases loaded. Nobody out. This will be a big opportunity for Guerrero, who has 9 at-bats this year with the bases loaded and 5 hits in those situations. That's a .556 average. 15 RBIs in those 9 at-bats.
That ovation kind of shows you the kind of love that this fan base has for Vlad, I would gather.
It's been a strong year for Guerrero. Recently voted as an all-star starter, and the Blue Jays fans the loudest by far right now. Bases loaded, no outs. 3-0 Toronto, top of the 8th. First pitch is up and in, ball 1.
I'll tell you what, he's going to get something over the heart of the plate in this at-bat. He just has to be ready for it.
5 career grand slams for Vlad. The 1-0. Swinging a liner foul off to the right. Guerrero has seen Bauman 12 times, 4 for 11 with a walk in his career. 1-1. Swing and a looper right field. Coming in, Haniger makes the catch off to his left. Tagging from third base. Kiermaier to the plate, and he slides in safe. Springer up to second. It's a sacrifice fly for Vlad. And a 4-0 lead with still runners on the corners and 1 out.
Well, he didn't get all of that one, but that's a big run. Going from 3-0 to 4-0 is very, very big, especially with this offense that the Seattle Mariners have. Haniger with a wild throw. Kevin Kiermaier comes home safely with a slide.
It's a good backup, actually, from Bauman behind the plate. That could have got a lot worse if he didn't corral in that throw.
He also would have got yelled at by his manager if he wasn't backing up on
Absolutely.
that play right there.
But he had to pick it, too. I think it bounced right before him. Here's Bo Bichette now, first and third, 1 out, 4-0 Toronto. Bauman's pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball hit to short. Fumbled by Crawford, and everyone's safe. Springer in to score. It's 5-0 Blue Jays on an incredibly rare gaffe by J.P. Crawford at short.
Well, I think the problem with that play was J.P. Crawford was trying to turn 2 before he actually caught that baseball. And that forced him to fumble it. You can see him staring out into the stands, not pumped about that, but that's a tough play. It was a short hop, so it was on the tougher side, but you could see him thinking about turning 2 before he actually caught that baseball.
Kind of scooped it up into the air with his glove and then went to bare hand and dropped it again. It's an RBI for Bichette regardless of whether they go hit or error. First pitch to Danny Jansen, called strike 1. So 5-0 Toronto. First and second, 1 out, top of the 8th. The 0-1 to Jansen. Swing and a roller right side. Diving stop by Moore. Gets up, throws to first. 2 down. Both runners will move up. It's second and third with Schneider on third and Bichette on second.
Have they ruled on that Bo Bichette?
They have, by the way. It's an error. It's only the second error this season for J.P. Crawford at short.
That's a tough error.
Perhaps the high standard, though, watching him play every day in Seattle. It's a great defensive play right after it by Dylan Moore. Now the pitch to Dalton Varsho, hit on the ground at third, picked up by Josh Rojas, throw to first in time, ends the inning. The Blue Jays score 2 runs. They come up with only 1 hit to do it. They benefit on an error. Kevin Kiermaier's ground rule doubles set it all up. It's 5-0 Toronto, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. First pitch strike to start the 8th by Trevor Richards. His next one to Mitch Garver is outside. 1-1. 5-0 the Blue Jays lead after a 2-run top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning now in Seattle. Game 2 of the series. The 1-1. Change up low. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. For Richards, his second inning of work, he used 11 pitches in a 1-2-3 7th and struck out a pair. Righty set, 2-1. Fastball line to left center. That's a base hit for Garver. He'll stop at first with a leadoff single.
That's a good approach right there from Garver. I think every hitter facing Trevor Richards, they just think see it up. And that fastball right there was at the top part of that strike zone, and Garver just smoked it into center field.
For Garver, his first hit of the day. And here's Dominic Canzone, 0 for 2. The pitch. Fastball tipped into the glove of Kirk. 0-1. That's only the second Mariners hit all day. And the first one was kind of a flare to left field by Luke Raley. That's probably the hardest hit ball we've seen. 0-1. Bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike. That Garver hit is probably the hardest one we've seen, not the Raley flare. Richards on 17 pitches with 1 on and no outs in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. Change up, waved at and missed by Canzone, 1-2.
That was an ugly swing from Canzone. If I'm Trevor Richards, I throw another one of those, but we've seen him a couple times today just throw fastballs right down the middle to get guys.
Yeah, he does a little reverse psychology. Here's the 1-2. Change up, hit on the ground, up the middle, and just past Schneider into right center field. Around second, Garver will jog to third. That one was softly hit, but found the right spot. And it's back-to-back base hits to put runners on the corners for the Mariners.
Yeah, I think that was a lucky hit. Just found the hole. Davis Schneider was shaded towards that hole on the right side of the infield. That should have been an easy double play ball. No, not Davis Schneider's fault, but just the positioning where he was.
So it feels extra important now that the Blue Jays got those 2 add-on runs in the 8th. They're up 5-0, but the Mariners are threatening for the first time since the 4th, really. They have runners on first and third, nobody out. Experienced Mariner Mitch Haniger is up. Right on right, the pitch from Richards. Change up low, 1-0. Haniger is 0 for 2. A fly out to center, a strikeout on a Yariel Rodriguez slider. 1-0. Change up just below the zone. 2 balls, no strikes.
I don't know how you take those pitches. Those are good pitches. They look like fastballs right down the middle. Mitch Haniger just with those easy takes. That's tough.
2-0 fastball popped up behind the plate into the seats. 2-1. Richards palming up a baseball. He's over 20 pitches now and has given up 2 hits to start the bottom of the 8th. So the bullpen is up. Brendan Little is throwing, as is Chad Green. 2-1 offering. Fastball upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Richards in the set. Kicks and delivers. Fastball hit high. Deep left field. Going back, Kiermaier and Varsho. That ball is gone. Three-run home run, Mitch Haniger. It's a 5-3 game. It's his 8th of the year and his 115th as a Mariner, which ties him for 10th all-time in Mariners history.
Well, we saw Trevor Richards a couple of times today sneak that fastball by guys right down the middle. He didn't do it there. That fastball right there was right down the middle, and Mitch Haniger didn't miss it for a 3-run homer. All of a sudden, this is a ball game. 5-3 Blue Jays now.
1 hit for the Mariners before this inning. Richards had cruised in the 7th. But he's given up 3 hits and 3 runs in the 8th, and his day is over. John Schneider walking out to the mound. He'll take the ball from Richards. And with this pitching change coming on, we'll go to baseball control. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Jesse Rubinoff is here at Baseball Control with me. He and I have the post-game show both after this game and tomorrow as well. I'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. You can text us anytime. 590-590, name and location, please. The People's Text line is always open. You can send those texts in right now if you like at 590-590. All right, let's check that out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In case you missed the soccer action from earlier today, the footy, the Euros continuing. The quarterfinals are officially wrapped. So we already had Spain and France set for a semifinal clash. Earlier this afternoon, England beating Switzerland on penalties. Then they will take on the Netherlands in the semis as the Dutch beating the Turks 2-1 earlier. So Spain-France will go Tuesday, while England-Netherlands will go Wednesday afternoon. Over at Copa America, Canada off to the semifinals after beating Venezuela in penalties. They'll take on Messi and Argentina in the semis. That game will be Tuesday, July 9th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Copa America, the other finals going on right now. Colombia taking on Panama, and Colombia up 2-0 right now in the first half. And some scores from around Major League Baseball. It's a final score for Rays at Rangers. Rays lost 3-0 last night. Today they lose 4-3. Marcus Semien blasting a 2-run bomb in the 7th inning to secure the win for Texas. Orioles at A's. That game's on right now. Kate Povich getting cratered by the Oakland offense. Later on, Shea Langoliers and Tyler Nevin both hitting home runs after Brent Rooker and Max Schumann also went yard in that one. Orioles trailing 17-4. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Brendan Little on the mound in relief of Trevor Richards. Blue Jays lead 5-3. Back to the action we go. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. 16th appearance of the season for Little, 17th career. An earned run average just below 5. The lefty comes on, and all of a sudden a close game. Mitch Haniger's 3-run homer has made it 5-3 for the Blue Jays. Dylan Moore is due up right now for the Mariners. Right-handed hitting second baseman. And he'll step into the box as Little goes to the rosin bag, pats it on his pants, and now stretches his arms out and steps on the rubber. Left on right, the pitch. Called strike 1. Sinker, cutter, knuckle curve for Little, who runs his fastball in the mid to high 90s from the left side. 0-1. Knuckle curve is a check swing roller past the dive of Schneider into center field, a base hit. Moore finds the hole. Not sure he meant to swing, but that'll be a base hit for Dylan Moore. And now the tying run comes up to the plate in J.P. Crawford.
Well, that base hit was about as weak as it gets. Davis Schneider was playing almost behind Brendan Little right up the middle. And again, that should have been an out, but Davis Schneider shaded in the wrong direction. Again, not his fault, but a very weak hit right there.
Left on left, J.P. Crawford swings and misses at 97 in the zone. 0-1. One hit before this inning and 3 base runners total for the Mariners. In the 8th, they have 4 straight hits and 3 runs. Left on left, the 0-1. Spikes it and it bounces past Kirk. That will move up Moore to second. Wild pitch on Brendan Little. That was a sinker that got away from Little, yanked it down and away. Next pitch is low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Chance for J.P. Crawford as the 2-1 goes in. Called strike on the outside edge. A great curve. 2-2.
That's a tough curve right there. Big break, tight spin, right on the outside corner.
Runner on second, no outs. Little peeks at second in the pitch. Curveball popped up, third base side foul Under it, Clement fighting the sun, makes the catch. 1 out.
And again, that sun is just so tough. You could see him shading his eyeballs with his glove there, trying to fight the sun. That's a tough play. Should be an easy play, but that's a really tough one.
He almost had his glove resting on his face there. But that's a big first out for the Blue Jays. And here's a pinch hitter for Seattle. Instead of another left-on-left matchup with Josh Rojas, the veteran Jorge Polanco, acquired by the Mariners this year, is into the game. He's a switch hitter. He'll bat from the right side.
Another guy having a tough season, along with J.P. Crawford. Jorge Polanco only hitting 195.
Polanco did a lot of damage against lefties last year, but hasn't had a ton of success against either side this season. Turned 31 yesterday, a guy who's been in the majors for a while. He debuted at 20 years old in 2014. Polanco batting .227 against left-handed hitters this year, which is better than the .184 against righties. Runner on second, 1 out. 5-3 Blue Jays the pitch. Swing and a hot shot foul ball down the left field line. 0-1. A long, successful career for Jorge Polanco as a member of the Minnesota Twins. Was with the Twins last year when they faced off with the Blue Jays in the Wild Card Series. All-Star in 2019, hit 33 homers in 2021. The 0-1. Inside.
Yeah, he's got some juice for sure. I mean, obviously he's lost a little bit of it this season, but it's in there. You definitely have to be careful with Jorge Polanco.
First appearance for Polanco since the third. 1-1. Inside again. 2-1. Little leaning in, dangling his right arm. Now comes set at the bell. Twists back and delivers. Swing and a miss. Ran the cutter in on the hands of Polanco, who waved over it. 2-2.
Seemed like Polanco was a little antsy there. Could tell what he was trying to do with that swing.
A home run would tie the game. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Dylan Moore on second. 5-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. The 2-2. Bounce the curve and a good block from Kirk. Now it skips out of his hand, but he did enough to keep that in front of him and to keep Moore at second. He blocked it so forcefully that it actually bounced to the right. He came up out of his crouch and it popped out of his glove. But again, did enough to keep the runner at second.
It's a big pitch right here. You don't want to give Jorge Polanco something he can drive, but you also don't want to put the tying run on.
Cal Raleigh's on deck. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Threw a curveball low, and Polanco chased it. 2 down.
Well, that's not exactly where they were trying to throw that pitch. I think they were trying to throw it over the plate. But Jorge Polanco, a guy with a pretty high strikeout rate this season, just whiffs over the top of that thing. That's a big strikeout for Brendan Little.
John Schneider walking out to the mound. A guy who has hurt the Blue Jays a lot. Cal Raleigh about to come in, and that means Schneider is going to go to his closer. Chad Green is coming on with a runner on second and 2 outs in a 5-3 game in favor of the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 8th. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. One more reminder that after this game is over, we have Jays Talk. Jesse Rubinoff and I will have the post-game show. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. And again, you can text us anytime. 590-590, name and location. I see some text right now on the People's Text line. So keep them coming. Always appreciated, everyone. All right, let's check out the Out-of-Town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. I mentioned the Copa America tournament. Colombia now up 3-0 on Panama. So Colombia looking to book their tickets to the semifinals as well. Colombia, Panama, they'll take on the winner of Uruguay, Brazil, which goes later on in a couple of hours down south in the USA. If we check the Out-of-Town scoreboard for some scores around Major League Baseball in the American League East, A number of finals. I mentioned the Rays-Rangers game. So the Rangers securing a series win with a Marcus Semien home run in the 7th inning, a 2-run bomb. Rays win 4-3. A couple other finals as well, including the Red Sox at Yankees. Ben Rice going yard thrice. He becomes the first Yankees rookie to hit 3 home runs in a game as the Yankees crush the Red Sox 14-4. Other games going on right now. The Mets lead the Pirates 5-2. The Nationals are on top of the Cardinals 13-6. The Athletics still lead the Orioles now 17-5, top of the 8th inning at the Coliseum. And the Guardians now lead the Giants 5-4. Of course, the Blue Jays will take on the Guardians in San Francisco beginning Tuesday. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Chad Green indeed into this game. Back to the action we go. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much. Show tense moments here at T-Mobile Park. The Blue Jays up 5-3 on the Mariners. 3 runs this inning for Seattle. The tying run is coming to the plate once again. Cal Raleigh will hit for Seattle. Chad Green, Blue Jays closer, is into the game. Dylan Moore on second, 2 outs. Again, 5-3, bottom of the 8th. Right on left, the pitch from Green. High fastball, 1-0. Green is the 3rd Blue Jays reliever to come in this inning, or to at least pitch in this inning. Richards started it. 1-0 is lifted down the right field line and into the seats. 1-1.
And you could see how antsy Cal Raleigh was on that last pitch. He shouldn't have swung at that pitch. That was a tough fastball in on the hands. But now that you have the 1 strike, you can kind of expand either above the zone or below the zone. Cal Raleigh swings and misses a lot.
1-1. Fouled back into the screen. I think it tipped off the glove of Kirk. It's 1-2. To your point about Raleigh, he leads the American League in strikeouts at 106. But he leads the Mariners in homers at 15, and he has hit 9 in his career against the Blue Jays, not including his playoff homer in 2022. 1-2. High fastball, a little bit too high as that was head level. Raleigh takes it. Those 9 homers, more than he's hit against any team in his career, including the divisional teams he plays most frequently. 2 outs, runner on second, 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 96 just above the zone, and Chad Green puts out the fire for now. Blue Jays take a 5-3 lead to the 9th after Mitch Haniger's 3-run homer has made this a close game again. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Keep the grill lit.
A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape.
With barbecue-themed channels sure to get the backyard bumping. From hip-hop
Bring the noise, my time.
to classic rock.
An American girl.
Country.
Can I have some help?
And beyond.
A lovely
Set it and forget it all summer long. Only in the SiriusXM app. Just search BBQ.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Ninth inning in Seattle. 5-3, the Blue Jays lead. Mitch Haniger with a 3-run homer has made this a close game again. The Blue Jays will try to stretch back out their lead in the ninth against a new Mariners pitcher. Edward Bizzardo comes in, the righty making his 12th appearance of the year. An earned run average around 8. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays were leading 5-0 last time they were hitting. Alejandro Kirk, a big part of their lead today. Bats now 3 for 3 with a sac fly, 2 RBIs. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Shallow right, moving toward the line. Haniger battling the sun makes the catch. 1 down. Mariners have essentially used every arm they could today. This is their 5th reliever, and the other 3 guys, Munoz, Stanek, and Both, all pitched yesterday, and all are on back-to-back days. Ernie Clement up the pitch. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Some defensive changes for Seattle. Josh Rojas was pinch hit for by Jorge Polanco. Polanco goes to second. Dylan Moore, the second baseman, moves to third, where Rojas was playing. 1-0. Fastball just misses the outside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Clement is 1 for 4, a single in the 4th. The kick and the pitch. Bizzardo puts a fastball over for strike 1. Now the 2-1. Down and away, check swing, appeal down to first. He went around, said Jordan Baker. It's 2-2. Ernie held his bat in his spot to try to show that he didn't go around, but Baker was not convinced.
That almost never works, by the way.
He does it a lot, though. 2-2. Down and away, Clement definitely lays off this time. It's full count. Ernie seldom walks, only 3 walks this season in almost 200 plate appearances. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider gets him, and there are 2 down.
Orioles are starting to come back. 17-6 now.
We were checking out that game earlier on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. 5-3 Blue Jays in the top of the 9th. Kevin Kiermaier is up. 1 for 4 with a double and a run. First pitch from Bizzardo is called strike 1. A lot of the struggles this season for Bizzardo have come against left-handed hitting. Batters from the left side have hit .333 against him. 0-1. Kiermaier hits it hard on the ground, but to the second baseman Polanco, who pumps, throws to first, and ends the inning. Blue Jays go down 1-2-3, and we will go to the bottom of the 9th. Ty France leading off against Chad Green. 5-3 Toronto. Back in a moment. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
First pitch swinging, Danny Jansen rocks the ball to left. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays lead the Mariners 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at T-Mobile Park. Once again, don't forget we have Jay Stock. Jesse Rubinoff is here at Baseball Control with me. He and I have the post-game show both today and tomorrow. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Text us anytime, including right now if you like. 590-590. Name and location, please. The People's Text line is always open. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead the Mariners 5-3 at T-Mobile Park. Bottom of the ninth inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Show. Walking up to the plate, Ty France. The Blue Jays up 5-3 on the Mariners. And Chad Green, who struck out Cal Raleigh, who represented the tying run in the eighth, is back out for the ninth. Righty kicks and fires home. First pitch slider hit in the air right field. Springer shading his eyes, backpedaling toward the corner, makes the catch. One pitch, one out for Chad Green.
Well, I'll tell you what, as a pitcher, when you see your outfielders or your fielders fighting the sun like that, that is a scary thing. George Springer had a tough time right there catching that baseball, but he's done that a million times.
Sun already forced one error today from Ty France, who dropped a foul pop-up. Here's Luke Raley now, left-handed hitter with one out. The pitch. Fastball hit into the seats off to the left. 0-1. Raley had the big Mariners hit yesterday, a two-run double when Seattle beat Toronto 2-1. 0-1 pitch is inside. For Chad Green, it's fastball slider. Entered today with a 1.31 ERA. 1-1 slider hit on the ground foul, and Green is ahead in the count, a ball and two strikes. Three saves and three save opportunities this year for Chad Green. This is his fourth opportunity. 1-2. Spikes a slider, and it just missed, hitting Raley, the batter. 2-2.
Luke Raley's got a pretty high strikeout rate, too. 75 strikeouts and just 224 at-bats, but that pitch right there is not a hittable pitch.
2-2 slider outside, full count. Raley's walked 8 times to those 75 strikeouts.
Not a good ratio.
Full count, though, one out. Bottom of the ninth inning, 5-3 Blue Jays. Payoff pitch. Fastball hit foul, left side, and out of play. Green loves to place the fastball at the top of the zone. That's what he did there against Raley, who fought it off. 3-2 again. Fastball again hit foul. That's a tough pitch for Raley to cover. Up and in a little bit off the plate, and he sent it back behind him into the netting.
That's really the only thing that Raley could do with that pitch. Right at the hands at 96. Just got a piece of it.
Green set at his chest. First base side of the rubber. Kicks and fires. Fastball fouled off again. That one a little bit more center cut. A 7-pitch battle so far. 3-2. Fastball hit well. Deep right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and that ball's out of here. It's a one-run game. Solo home run, Luke Raley, his 10th of the season. It's 5-4.
Well, that's not the end of the world there. Now you just go on to the next guy. You throw strike one, and then you get the next 2 outs. But that pitch was supposed to be up and away and up. And Chad Green pulled it a little bit and threw that thing on the inside part of the plate, and Luke Raley didn't miss it.
Raley getting high fives, raising up the trident back in the dugout. And Mitch Garver up, representing the tying run. 1 for 3 today, the pitch. Fastball down the middle, strike one. Garver's got big power, although he's hitting in the 170s this year, 11 home runs. 0-1. Slider hits the outside edge, top of the zone, 0-2. Garver will ask for time. Right-handed hitting catcher has faced Chad Green 3 times in his career. He hit a 3-run homer off of him in 2023. This year he's faced him twice, and Green struck him out both times. 1 out, bottom of the 9th, 5-4, Blue Jays lead. 0-2. Slider just outside. Garver lays off. Kirk setting up away again. 1-2. Slider outside again, and again Garver will lay off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was Garver's single that started the 3-run 8th for the Mariners. 2-2. Fastball popped up over the netting, back behind home plate. Green got the first out, then gave up a home run to Raley. His 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Finally gets him to chase a slider down and away. There are 2 outs.
That was a great pitch right there. Looked like a fastball, looked like a strike out of the hands, and then just dips out of that zone at the last second.
Dominic Canzone about to come up. Chad Green's thrown over 20 pitches, and Pete Walker will come out to the mound to talk to Green. What kind of conversation do you think is happening right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just throw strike 1. You throw strike 1, you can expand, you can do anything you want after you throw strike 1. But if you're nibbling on pitch number 1 and you put the tying run on base, potentially that's not a good thing. I think that throwing strike 1 is the message that I would be sending if I was Pete Walker here, and I think Chad Green knows that.
2 outs, bottom of the 9th, 5-4 lead. Blue Jays over Mariners. Dominic Canzone bats from the left side. The pitch. Fastball hit back foul. 0-1. Green just gave up his first run since June 7th in Oakland. Bounce back for a strikeout. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Beat him down and in on a fastball, and the Mariners are down to their final strike. Blue Jays fans on their feet and loud in Seattle. Toronto trying to even up this series. Green in the set. 2 down. The 0-2 pitch is hit foul into the stands, and we'll do it again.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go back up there just a little bit higher, a little bit out of that strike zone even more.
Green cupping his left ear to hear the sign amid the noise. He kicks and fires. And it's foul tipped, but it pops out of Kirk's glove. The spot was missed, so Kirk had to reach across the plate. And that won't be a foul tip strikeout. Instead, we'll do it again.
That last fastball, 97. He's starting to get his good stuff back.
0-2 once more. Slider hit foul down the right side. Canzone is not going out without a fight. He's seen 5 pitches. He's fouled off 4 of them. Still in an 0-2 count. Righty Green steps on the rubber, looks in. Now he's set at his chest. The 0-2. Fastball lifted down the left field line. Long run Clement into foul territory, circles under it and makes the catch to win the game. The Blue Jays bend, but they do not break. From a 5-0 lead, they beat the Mariners 5-4 to even up the series.
Well, that was a great game overall. Alejandro Kirk with an incredible game, 3 for 3 today. But you can't say enough about Yariel Rodriguez. 2 incredible starts in a row. This time going 6 innings, allowing only 1 earned run. 0 earned runs, 1 hit. He is showing why the Blue Jays gave him $32 million before he threw a pitch in the big leagues. 2 awesome starts in a row for him.
The Blue Jays pick up the win and set up a rubber match tomorrow. Before we talk about that, though, we're going to take a quick step aside, come back, wrap this one up, and send you over to a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Jesse Rubinoff. Toronto takes it 5-4 today. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck. 2 men in
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for another Toronto Blue Jays game. Please make sure you've hit that like button down below. Click out of the chat for a second, hit that like button, and help this stream grow and get more Blue Jays fans here to hang out with us live during the game. This community is absolutely insane. It has grown like crazy, and I know that it will only continue to grow because of what you guys do as well as what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Please share this out to your friends. Please make sure that like is clicked, and let's get back to the baseball. Let's go Blue Jays. Finish strong.
Start.
Well, I take away that he's healthy and he bounced back after throwing 6 2/3 against the Houston Astros. Look, it's not a one-off. That's the thing that I'm looking at right now. It's not a one-off that he had a great game against the Astros. This is a guy that has big league stuff. He has big league command, and he has big league composure. I made a joke earlier that he's a big fist pump guy. He pumps, but that's just him. He's aggressive. He gets excited when big things happen, and I love to see that. I love to see the competitive nature of Yariel Rodriguez, and today's second great start in a row was pretty good.
Rodriguez picked up his first major league win today, although it hung in the balance for a little bit. With the Blue Jays up 1-0, Rodriguez walked a pair of batters with 1 out in the 4th. That brought Ty France up to the plate, and France hit a ball pretty hard to set up today's play of the game. Rodriguez from the first base side. The 1-0 pitch is lined to left field. Varsho on the run, dives. Did he get it? He did. Throw back to second, and they doubled up the runner Rojas. Dalton Varsho, are you kidding me? Goes into a full somersault after the diving catch and tosses out the runner off second base to end the inning.
Well, the 2 batters before that were put on base via the walk, so that was a huge catch in this ball game, a turning point in this ball game. We talked about the percentage of outfielders that make that catch, 40%, and I felt like that was pretty high. That was a very difficult catch, and then to get up and throw that ball to second base for the double play, that's impressive stuff from Dalton Varsho.
Rodriguez would cruise from there, only allowing 1 hit on the day. The Blue Jays had a lot of chances. Did they convert on all of them? Certainly not, but they did enough, especially their 2-run 8th inning, to add to what was a 3-0 lead and make it a 5-0 lead. Mitch Haniger would hit a home run in the 8th to make it 5-3. Chad Green, who was asked to come up with a 4-out save, did give up a solo home run to Luke Raley, but Green continues a trend this year where he hasn't given up multiple runs in any inning, and he picks up his 4th save in as many tries. The Blue Jays win 5-4. 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors, 13 left on for Toronto. 4 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors, 3 left on for Seattle. The first major league win in the career of Yariel Rodriguez. He's 1-3. Emerson Hancock picks up the loss. He goes to 3-4. And for Chad Green again, his 4th save. A loud crowd of over 38,000 at T-Mobile Park. This one took 2 hours and 53 minutes, and it was a Blue Jays win. Toronto 40-49, Seattle 49-42, and a rubber match coming up tomorrow from T-Mobile Park. 4:10 Eastern is when first pitch is underway. 1:10 Pacific from Seattle. It's a matchup of heavyweights. George Kirby takes on Jose Barrios in what should be a very fun one. The Blue Jays have a chance to win the series. We will have Blue Jays talk after that one tomorrow, as always, and a local pregame show in Toronto starting at 3 o'clock. But stick around now because we still have a whole lot more coming up. For our producer today, Nick Blackmore, our technical director, Andrew Adams, our host, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day and get your calls and texts in. It's a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Jesse Rubinoff starting right now.
Win almost certainly does not change the calculus, like the long-term outlook for what you'll see when it comes to selling, rebuilding over the course of the next month, right up until the deadline at the end of July. But it is certainly exciting. You hold on to your butts a little bit for the last couple of innings. Mitch Haniger hitting a 3-run bomb. Luke Raley going yard off of Chad Green for his first run since like the beginning of June or whatever it was. This game had a little bit of everything. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that A, Y-Rod is fun to watch when he's on, and B, the Jays, Jesse, never do things the easy way. I'm not even sure they know how to do things the easy way, but at least they did hold on for a win today.
Yeah, it's refreshing to come on here and be able to talk about a victory. I think we know about the struggles of the bullpen, and it's not really the usual suspects today. It was Trevor Richards who got roughed up a little bit, and Brendan Little came in, did a good job, and then Chad Green throwing a season high, matching 27 pitches on the day. I think he got better really as his outing went along. So while there were some stumbles for the bullpen today, it was nice to be able to see them actually lock it down. I think you're getting a taste of two teams here that the offense is not great on either side, and runs are at a premium. And that's why when you think about Dalton Varsho and the play that he made on that double play, 40% chance of making that grab, probability of making that grab. He does it, throws to second for the double play. That is now back-to-back days where Dalton Varsho has had a game-changing play. And I don't think they win the game without that play from Dalton Varsho in the bottom of the fourth. And in fact, the probability of winning the game for the Seattle Mariners on that play alone dropped 12%.
That's crazy.
So that's how much of a swing play that was for Dalton Varsho. And we were talking about who's going to be in this core moving forward for the Toronto Blue Jays. And despite the struggles from Dalton Varsho offensively, you understand exactly why the Blue Jays made the trade for him. And you understand why there's still a lot of excitement about him because of what he can do with his glove.
That is Jesse Rubinoff. I'm Show Ali. Like I said, you're listening to Jays Talk live on the Sportsnet Radio Network. We're also streaming on sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet app. Give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. You can text us as well, 590-590, name and location. That's the People's Text line. It is always open. We're here until the top of the next hour. Let's keep talking about Dalton Varsho, because I said this yesterday when he had that 5% catch probability catch, which was him like in the top of the first inning, banging into or bottom of the first inning, banging into
reckless abandon.
Yeah, it was wild, right? Him into the wall in left center. It was great. Like I said, 5% catch probability play. And I've said this before, and you and I've talked about this before, but the idea that you can get by with Varsho hitting the way he is hitting because of what he gives you with the glove. It's just that you can't really get by with everyone else in the offense playing as poorly with the bat as they have been. I would say specifically in the outfield, right? So now over the last 10 games, not including today, George Springer entering play today was batting like .450 or whatever it was in his last 10 games. So that's definitely a good thing. But when it comes to Kevin Kiermaier, who had some pretty ugly swing and misses today after the home run yesterday, you can tolerate it and hide it to a certain extent from one batter, but you can't really do it with a whole host of batters. And again, I think that's probably another indictment of roster construction, but it would be a real shame. I got to say, it would be a massive shame because of the really weird rules of how Gold Gloves are applied. Because I think Varsho splits time in left and in center.
Yeah,
and because of that, it would be a real shame if he got screwed out of a Gold Glove this year. Because I gotta say, there might be and this is not a diss to Springer or Kiermaier, who are both very good defensively, but there might be no better outfielder in all of baseball than Dalton Varsho. And I mean, if he can win as the utility Gold Glover, perhaps,
yeah,
right, that would be great. But because of the way he splits time, unless he unless he plays at one position for the rest of the year, it would be really annoying, honestly, for the year to end and Varsho not get some recognition because he really deserves it. Like, I know the bat is not what you want. He's batting below 200. It's not great, obviously, and you can't ignore that. But from a Gold Glove defense-only perspective, he deserves to win that award.
Yeah, I mean, we all talk about how it's like hard to even have the conversation about anybody else being at his level in terms of outfielders in Major League Baseball. Yeah, the eligibility rules are a little bit messed up when it comes to Gold Gloves and even Platinum Gloves. Like, if we're talking about this guy being, bar none, the best outfielder in baseball, that should put him in the discussion for a Platinum Glove, which is the best outfielder at any position. You're bang on. Look, you could have Dalton Varsho batting 7th, 8th, 6th, and if he's batting 200 with a little bit of pop, that's fine if everybody else is carrying the load. But the fact that the Blue Jays are where they are with their offense right now, it exposes him offensively when it really shouldn't. And this guy is just such a pleasure to watch him. And not only is he so good that he makes these incredible plays, but even the little plays, like the heads up, everything is intelligent. Even the way he fields balls when he's battling the sun, trying to take the long way around, little circle and block out the sun and make it easier on him. Everything is just smooth, it's calculated, it's smart. He thinks his way through the game of baseball. He's a good base runner. He does all of the little things really well. You'd like to see the average obviously creep up a little bit more, but you take the good with the bad, and the good defensively is really, really, really good when it comes to Dalton Varsho. It's fun to watch.
416-870-0590, 1-888-660-590, star 590 on your cell. Those are the numbers to call. We'll go to the phones. We'll go to the text line very shortly, 590-590, name and location. We did some good. We'll talk about Yariel in a second here because he was a lot of fun to watch. Again, 2 great starts for Yariel Rodriguez in a row now, going back to Canada Day, in which he was also phenomenal. But I also wanted to talk about a particular decision-making process in this game that I think is something we should be past at this point in the season, Jesse, because again, like a win is great. It's their 40th win of the year. That's obviously I think objectively, it's just more fun to watch wins than losses. Like I said off the top, I'm not sure this changes the long-term calculus for what will happen at the deadline this season, but you can still enjoy a win. And you know what? You know who I'm happiest the most for? The people who shelled out big bucks to go watch this game in Seattle. Great point. Honestly, I really am. Like the Chad Green gets up there with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Dominic Canzone is battling. He's down to his final strike, and the people get up at T-Mobile Park like it's the Rogers Center, basically. Like, I know this is not new news by any means. I'm not breaking anything here, but I was happy for the quote unquote home crowd, for all the Canadians and Jays fans who packed up T-Mobile Park because they haven't gotten a lot to cheer for. And after probably shelling out big bucks much earlier in this season and planning it out when the schedule dropped before one pitch was ever thrown this entire season, and then seeing what happened all season long, all the way to this early July weekend, and knowing what they had a possibility of watching instead of what they hoped to get what they got today. I know it was a bit of a butt clenching win, but it was I'm happy for them. I really am. But one moment I think we should be past is maybe second guessing some of the team's best hitters. And there was a moment top of the 6th inning where Spencer Horwitz got lifted for Davis Schneider.
Yeah.
And Taylor Saucedo, of all people, was on the mound, old pal Taylor Saucedo. And so they certainly are doing that because Horwitz bats left. Saucedo is a lefty. Right, yeah, Schneider bats right. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Saucedo has not particularly acquitted himself very well against righties. I get it, in theory. So they yank Horwitz for Schneider. David Schneider gets ahead 3-1 in the count before some really ugly swings to strike out to end the inning. And it was a tough watch, given that certainly this is hindsight, certainly a little bit, Schneider swinging on pitches that were low and below the zone when he was up 3-1 in the count. But before that, Saucedo walked Springer on 4 pitches, right? So why are you swinging after you took some really tough pitches to get to 3-1 in the first place? But just generally speaking, going forward, it meant that they were without Spencer Horwitz, who has been one of the team's best hitters. And I get it, lefty on lefty. I totally understand. But I was talking about this during the game, but we had just seen Spencer Horwitz get unexpectedly with a late scratch, get put into the lineup against, of all people, Framber Valdez a couple days ago. And that's a lefty on lefty matchup. And he at some point you just got to trust your best hitters. At some point you're beyond playing the splits for every single situation, and you're better off just letting Horwitz hit. I think he has earned it And given that the Jays have sacrificed defense and run prevention to bring up a lot of these guys, you think they just like let them play at this point?
Yeah, it's so interesting that it feels like this isn't the first time that we've talked about this kind of decision making with the Blue Jays, like overthinking things. Like I keep going back to when Ernie Clement was lights out. There was a time where he was, for about a 2-week stretch, the second hottest hitter in the American League. And then he found himself on the bench more often than not. And ever since he started getting regular playing time again, he's seen his batting average dwindle all the way down to 250, and he hasn't been that same player. And it just makes you wonder, like when guys are going, stop interrupting their hot streaks.
Yeah.
Like, sure, analytics this, analytics that. You're 10 games below 500. Spencer Horwitz is one of the few guys that are swinging a hot bat in your lineup. Just let the guy hit.
Yeah, just let him play.
And your point about Framber Valdez, I mean, that he has clearly acquitted himself okay to lefty pitching in the major leagues so far. And it's just like there's an element here of overthinking things a lot. And sometimes you just have to let it go and let the game play out. And it's funny because they're not operating with sort of thinking, what are the fans going to criticize us about? They don't care, clearly. But it feels like when you make moves like this, and they don't work out, that's when fans just jump all over you. And like to bring in Davis Schneider, a guy who's been ice cold for months now, it's just in theory, analytically, sure, yeah, might make sense. But to your point, Spencer Horwitz is one of the better hitters they've had over the last number of weeks. And if he gets continually lifted in these spots, you're not even going to find out what he's made of. This is a guy that may or may not be one of the guys that you're relying on heading into 2025. So you better figure it out.
That's what it is.
So put him in clutch spots. Yeah. Figure out if he can do it. Stop lifting him. Stop lifting guys that are hot.
That's what it is. Like, I don't want to like make the whole show about this because they won today. But we're at a point in the season where I think we are going to be talking more about the guys who should be here next year and about the guys who are not going to be here next year. And almost certainly Spencer Horwitz, unless he has some catastrophic fall off between now and the end of the season, he should be. You know what I mean? Like he should be a part of this, if not the core, he should be on the team next year. And if that's the case, just let him hit.
Give him a chance every day.
That's really my only complaint. Like really my only complaint. 'Cause I'm not even going to complain too much about Trevor Richards. Like Trevor Richards and Chad Green, I've said this many times, are pretty much the only members of the circle of trust right now. And Trevor Richards was great in the first inning and not so great in his second inning of relief today. So I'm not going to crush him too much. It's just that the bullpen has been a real adventure. Even Chad Green gave him a run today, right? Yeah. So it's just, I'm not going to blame them too much. It's just those things do happen, but I don't know. It's just, that's pretty much the only real negative part. I wanted to get it out of the way, but I didn't like that. I just want to see Horwitz play a little bit more. 416-870-0590, 1-888-866-0590, star 590 on your cell. Go to the text line 590-590 very shortly. Let's go to the phones. And joining us here to start us off is Ian in Toronto. Ian, what's up?
Not much. How's it going, guys?
Good. Always fun when we can chat about a win these days, Ian.
Yeah, which obviously doesn't happen as often as we wanted this year. But, I mean, this is part of the reason why John Schneider needs to go, what you guys were saying about pulling guys and back and forth. You guys both know this. Baseball players are creatures of habit, and the only guy who is in a consistent habit on this team is Vlad, who – up until a couple of weeks ago, I'm saying this, was a failure. Like he had no slugging. He got on base, but a first baseman who doesn't hit home runs has pretty much no value in the league. Talk about Luis Arias, who's been traded twice in 2 years. So that's just how I see it. Pinch hitters are striking out at a 30% clip this year. And again, like you said, Horwitz, give him a chance. The guy might not slug against left-handed pitching, but I've looked up his numbers. He still gets on base at almost a 40% clip against left-handed pitching in the minors. So, again, figure out if this guy can hack it for next year because, let's be honest, this team is playing for 2025. 2024 season is dead, done, finished, okay? There are no playoffs coming, and that's just where it is. But at the same time, there needs to be a cleaning of house to a degree. You need to retool this team. But one thing that I also wanted to mention was, as much as I don't want to see him go, but you need to trade Chris Bassett. And the reason being is you're going to get a decent haul for him. And then that $22 million can be repurposed into another pitcher because it looks like Yariel Rodriguez can be a decent enough pitcher. You still got Gausman. You still have Barrios. Manoah's going to come back next year. Hopefully, to at least halfway to where he was this year, showing that he could actually throw the ball over the plate and, not walk everybody. So you already have 4 starters. You can't necessarily bank on Tiedemann because his inning total has been going backwards, not forwards year over year. So it's just with Bassett, and I love the guy. Like, the guy's pitched lights out over the last couple of months up until last start. But if you can get a decent haul back for someone like that, and you're looking at retooling for 2025, then all options have to be on the table. You can't just sit and say, okay, well, we'll just bring him back and everything.
Ian, appreciate the call. Thanks for joining us on Jace Talk. Okay, some I agree with, some I disagree with. I will disagree, Jesse, that up until 2 weeks ago, Vladdy was a failure. I know people wanted more slugging and more power out of him, but he's been. There was that stretch after the first week of the season where he was not good because he also just wasn't hitting at all. He wasn't hitting a lot for power or getting on base. So that stretch of the season, I was frustrated with Vladdy. But even if he turned into like a slap-happy singles hitter, he was getting on base a lot. He was taking more walks. So I will disagree with that. I think Vladdy's been great by and large all season long. You still want more power from him. And we're starting to see that more, which is good. But I disagree with that assessment of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s season. I also am not sure you can count on Alek Manoah coming back for next season. Like if Alek Manoah pitches at all next season, I think that's a bonus. Honestly, like he got the internal brace surgery on his arm. I mean, I think it was the similar surgery to the one Hyunjin Ryu had, and Ryu also last year, just for comparison's sake, did not return until like effectively the trade deadline. Like he returned like for the last like 8 weeks of the season essentially. So I'm not sure I'm not sure you can forecast roster moves for the starting rotation specifically. I do agree that Bassett would fetch you probably a decent amount, and I've made my case for you that I think he should be an all-star, but because he's pitched very, very, very well.
Until he allowed 3 in the first inning.
He did allow 3 earned runs the last time out. Yeah, literally like minutes after we had that conversation on Thursday, which is really tough.
So good.
But I still think he would fetch you great value, I think, because he has a year left on his deal after this year. But I mean, if you're trading Bassett and you don't have Manoah, I'm not sure if for Ian is if you're also trading Kikuchi because you also just need people to pitch for you at some point. But I do think there is a question about Yariel Rodriguez and what he can be, and he's under contract for a number of years, and it's encouraging to see what we saw from him. We'll talk about him very shortly, but I'm not sure you can necessarily forecast Manoah being back as to why you can trade Bassett or anyone else.
Well, I don't even think it's a question of just health with Manoah. I know he was pretty good in his return in stretches, but this is a guy who was all the way down to single A and was getting roughed up in single A. So to come off an injury of this magnitude and then just expect him to come right back and be the Alek Manoah of old, I think is potentially asking a lot. I wouldn't bank on that happening. I would prepare as if that's probably not going to happen and try and have as much pitching depth as possible. The issue is, you're right, they don't have much pitching depth at all beyond the guys that they have at the major league level right now. Like they weren't even, until Yariel Rodriguez came back, they weren't even sure who was going to pitch every 5th day. And that's why they had to go to a bullpen day. Like they just don't have much pitching depth. And it's funny because over the years, the last couple of years, obviously the Blue Jays pitching has been fantastic. But if you go to the few years before that, the offense was great. The pitching was the issue. So I'm just weary of trading away pitchers because I realize how important starting pitching is to winning baseball. It feels like the Blue Jays, when the offense is good, the pitching isn't. And this is sort of a microcosm. This season is representative of that. But going back years, they can never fully put it together. It's either the starting pitching has struggles and the offense went to Oscar and Lourdes and Marcus Semien were here. The offense is great. And then ever since then, the offense has been shoddy and the starting pitching has been the strength of this team. That being said, we started this show, the pregame show today, talking about the need to build up the farm system again. It is just barren at this point. And Chris Bassett being 35 years of age and Yusei Kikuchi also being over 30, these are guys that absolutely can fetch you a lot and can help replenish that farm system. So while it does detract from the major league level pitching, at some point you got to trade guys in order to get a farm system too. So the case makes a lot of sense, and people are going to want Chris Bassett and Yusei Kikuchi. So that's why I think it's a reasonable thing to want these guys dealt.
I think of the Cole Reagans trade the Rangers and Royals made June of last year. So the Rangers traded Reagans and a minor leaguer to the Royals in exchange for Aroldis Chapman, right?
Yeah.
And again, like that was a trade, like the signing.
Take a Cole Reagans.
Yeah, I would too, right? But I think while it's hard to forecast what people are, like if you're trading Bassett, Kikuchi certainly as well, but Bassett has one more year in his deal, and Kikuchi does not. He's a UFA, so it's a little different, right? But if you are trading Bassett, you need an asset like that coming back, and you don't know for sure what you're getting. You don't 100% know. And I mean, Reagan's pitch at the Rogers Center last year, where he completely imploded, where he was like falling off the mound, he's like throwing balls wayward. I was there for that game, sitting in the radio booth, and everyone else in the stadium probably was like, "What the hell's going on right now?" Right? Like, what is happening? But I mean, look at Reagan's now. He was like a trendy pick for the AL Cy Young when the season started. I don't know if he's going to win, but he's still a very, very, very good pitcher. So that's the kind of trade the Blue Jays need to execute if you are trading a Bassett.
Definitely. And the fact that Chris Bassett is 35, I think you want to get out in front of the decline. And I'm not saying that in his age 36 season, he's absolutely going to fall off a cliff, but it wouldn't be impossible that he would not be the same pitcher next year, or he'd slowly diminish. And therefore, the value that you would be getting in return wouldn't be what it once was. And then even if his contract expires and you end up not trading him, he's 36 years old. Are you really going to want to re-sign a 36-year-old just to eat up innings for you? So all things being equal, I think the best course of action for the Blue Jays is to offload the guys that are up there in age and at least have a little bit of control that you might be able to get something pretty significant back.
416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Let's go back to the phones. Let's get to Brad in Barrie. Brad, what's up?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Exciting win for the Jays. I got a little different spin on it. I mean, I really don't feel that, hey, just listen to you guys, that really any of those pitchers are on the table. I mean, the Jays have pitched well overall. I know it hasn't been great, but let's call it what it is. I mean, they just have not put the runs together, and that we know this. And, you know, you just looked yesterday as an example, but there's been a ton of games where, you know, they've lost those close games because they can't put the runs together. And a lot of that I see inconsistency coming from the manager, which obviously we know is also coming from the top brass talking to him and kind of micromanaging him, and you can see this in the decisions all the way back to the playoff last year to Seattle. I really feel that, you know, you guys are talking about Horwitz there. I mean, now you're 10 games back or whatever it is. You play these young guys, let them do their thing. Clement, Horwitz, Snyder, get them in there and let them do their thing. And really, the Jays to me are a good baseball team. And they're just on a rudderless ship. They're being managed poorly and not given the opportunities that really they should be getting. And you can look at every game and see it. And you know, like it's one of those things where I'd love to see John Gibbons back managing this club, because honestly, for all his downfalls, the guy knew how to make the right decisions and win ball games.
Hey, Brad, thanks for the call, man. I will disagree that John Gibbons would be the cure for what ails this team. Because here's the thing. Like, a lot of people like Brad say, oh, this is all on John Schneider. He's pushing the wrong buttons. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, I have not seen anything to suggest, Jesse, that if they were to make Gibby the manager again, or they were to make DeMarlo Hale the manager, as well-liked as he is, or if they were to make Don Mattingly the manager, I have not seen anything to suggest that the team would suddenly turn it around. Like, that's not, like, don't get me wrong, like, a manager plays a role in how the clubhouse functions, but at the same time, I don't believe that it would be all that different. It just feels like it would be like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other if you're changing management with the way the team is run from the front office down, which is why a lot of people clamor for changes with like Shapiro and Atkins. And I agree with that, right? Like, that's where the change needs to happen first. I almost feel like, and I've said this before, but I almost feel like I'd rather see the front office get changed and then this new front office give John Schneider a little bit more of a free rein, because I almost feel like you'd get a different result to a certain extent. But I'm just not sure if changing the managers would do anything beyond, you know, like shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic. If the players aren't the ones being changed, or if the batting coaches aren't the ones being changed, or even if the management aren't, like, from a front office perspective, aren't the ones being changed.
No, I mean, just look at the stats. The Blue Jays are 5th worst in the major leagues in terms of runs scored. In terms of starting pitching, they are 14th with ERA. and I don't even want to check the relievers because it's not good. I'm pulling it up right now. They are 29th in all of baseball in bullpen ERA, and their bullpen has allowed the most home runs in all of baseball. The reality is, for whatever faults you think John Schneider has, and you could make a very good case that there have been many instances where he's made the wrong move. We were talking about, in our opinion, one that sort of rubbed us the wrong way today. But at the end of the day, these are players, and they're either good or they're not. The responsibility lies with them to show that they can perform. And too many times this season, irrespective of what John Schneider has done, the players have failed to perform. Then it starts to go up the food chain a little bit, and you have the conversation about Ross Atkins and whether he's constructed a team of players that are just not good enough. But you can't hold John Schneider responsible for guys hitting 200. And when you have 5 guys that are hitting 200 in a lineup, you're going to have a hard time scoring. Yeah. That's a reality. John Schneider, he can't go up there and step in the batter's box every time out. There's only so much a manager could do. You could have prime Joe Torre pushing the buttons for this team, and what they could be 4 games better than they are right now. Like, the reality is, at some point, it's a talent issue. And for me, that's what I give more to it, other than just putting everything at the feet of John Schneider. I don't think that's necessarily fair.
Let's go back to the phones before we take a quick break, and we'll get some more phone calls on the other side. Before we do that, let's get to Eddie in Fort Erie. Eddie, what's up?
Not much, gentlemen. Good to talk to you again, as always.
Yeah, what's up, Eddie? What's on your mind today?
Well, I got a couple of things. First of all, what a great pitching performance by Rodriguez. I mean, whatever he did in that Astros series, he really, like his last start against the Astros, he really carried it over against the Mariners. And it was only a matter of time before he was going to get that first major league win, because he probably deserved a better fate in that game against the Astros, because he pitched so well against that tough offense. And then he pitched even better today against the Mariners. So big kudos to him, and good job on Kirk behind the plate and with the bat too. So that was really good as well. Now, I wanted to ask you guys something about Dalton Varsho, because I was thinking about those catches he made yesterday and today. And I know that the All-Star reserves are going to be named, I think, tomorrow, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do they go by offensive numbers or by defensive runs saved, like all those great defensive catches that Varsho has made between like this year and that sort of thing? Do you think he has a chance to make the All-Star team?
Unfortunately, I would say no, Eddie. I would say no, because he's batting 200. And unfortunately, the All-Star game, don't get me wrong, he's supremely talented defensively, but the All-Star game is about flashy offensive plays. Not that it matters, right? But yeah, unfortunately for him, I think he's going to get hosed there a little.
Yeah, because those catches were definitely All-Star worthy material right there, because especially that one that he made on that ground, like, that was incredible. And then have the presence of mind to throw out the runner at second base. I mean, that was amazing. That was really good. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Thanks for the call, as usual. Yeah,
I agree. It was amazing.
It was phenomenal. And Varsho, I think, from a defensive standpoint, like I've said this before, but if there could be some kind of additional event where, kind of like the skills competition at the NBA All-Star Weekend, where they do the pass, dribble, shoot thing. Scotty Barnes participated in that event last year. But if they could,
that's brilliant.
If there could be something like that,
they should do that.
Dalton Varsho and the guys like him would absolutely dominate those events. Like, how much ground can you cover from left to center, or can you
put Show in charge of the MLB All-Star Weekend?
But that's also
what are we doing?
But the other problem with that, of course, is that who's going to go
and run as hard as you can?
Yeah, who's going to go super hard at the All-Star game for anything? Come on, right? No one's going to do that.
It's just that needs to happen. This is the problem. Everyone's turning into a prima donna in professional sports, and no one wants to try hard in All-Star games. Well, then nobody's going to watch. So I'm all in favor of that. But yeah, if Dalton Varsho was batting 250 with a couple more home runs and 45 RBI instead of 36, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But that is more like an All-Star season. I really believe he'd have a chance because of how many runs saved he has. Yeah, but the reality is he's batting 200, barely batting 200. Yeah. And that's not going to qualify you for any All-Star game anytime soon.
Stephen Kwan barely got voted into the All-Star game this year. And the guy was batting almost like 400 for a chunk of this season, right? Like he almost just squeaked by the skin of his teeth into the All-Star game. And that was because Judge and Soto and Kyle Tucker, despite the fact that he's injured, were the guys getting the votes, right?
Varsho was in the Futures game.
That's true.
5 years ago.
That's true.
So get him to the real one eventually.
The bat stuff needs to pick up with him. The offense needs to pick up with Varsho.
Yeah.
Eddie also mentioned Yariel Rodriguez. Let's talk about him before we hit a break here. And then get back to the phones, get back to the text line.
Sick, wicked, and nasty today.
Yeah, he was
That's how I would describe it.
He was great. So the last time out, 6 2/3. This is on Canada Day. 6 2/3, 1 earned run, issued 2 walks, struck out 6 on 83 pitches. It was the best start of his major league career. Today, he did not allow a hit until the 5th inning. He got some timely help from the defense, including one Dalton Varsho, turning a phenomenal double play, which we talked about. But 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 82 pitches, 45 strikes. He absolutely loaded up on that 4-seam fastball, like you talked about in the pregame show. He threw 82 pitches, Jesse. Of those 82 pitches, he threw the 4-seamer 48 times. So we essentially saw him throw the 4-seamer 59% of the time. He let a 4-seamer out of his hand. It averaged 93.8 miles an hour, which is okay. It maxed out at 96.2 miles an hour. And against a team like the Mariners that strikes out a lot, it was a great dose of the fastball yesterday from Gausman. It was a good dose of the fastball today from Yariel Rodriguez. We saw Trevor Richards try to dial up some fastballs, and then he got a little bit in his second inning of relief work. But on the flip side, Chad Green managed to use his fastball to great effect. So it was nice to see them dial up a game plan that obviously works against the Mariners. And hey, I mean, if Yrod can keep this up, that's a great spot to be in for your fifth starter role. I don't know if you can rely on that every single time out, but if he can be around a couple of runs given up every 5 days, then you'll take that from your 5 starter.
Yeah, I think giving him $32 million over 5 years, I think they're hoping for even probably better than a 5th starter. But at this point of his career, just the inexperience that he has, I think you just want to see progress. In the last 2 starts have shown a lot of progress. He threw the fastball 19% more than he usually does today. And the reason being, as we discussed in the pregame show, the Seattle Mariners are the worst team in baseball against the 4-seamer. And I think another thing that he did a really good job of today was his pitch count has gotten really high really quick in a lot of his other starts. In his last 6 starts, he's in the bottom 5 in the league in pitches per inning. And today he got into some trouble with back-to-back walks, but he navigated his way out of it, and therefore he was able to go as deep as he did in this baseball game because he was a little bit more efficient with the pitches. That's what I'm going to continue to look for from him. It's just a little bit more pitch efficiency as we continue on here. And just the walks have been the problem. Limit the walks. Yeah. Keep the pitch efficiency where it was or around where it was today. And you're giving yourself a very good opportunity to have a stellar outing time in, time out. I mean, it's a great development for the Toronto Blue Jays because when you make an investment of $32 million in a guy that's never pitched in the major leagues before, you are taking a pretty big risk. And there were moments, definitely, where I think Blue Jays fans watched him and they watched the walk issues and they watched the pitch efficiency issues and they said to themselves, it seems like a lot of money for a guy who can't find the strike zone a lot of the time. But back-to-back starts here, there's a little bit more confidence in what Yariel Rodriguez is capable of, and that's nice to see.
416-870-0591, 888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Those are the numbers to call. We'll take a couple more calls after the break. 590-590, name and location. We'll go to the text line, read some text on the other side as well. You're listening to Jays Talk. Jays win 5-4 to even this series in Seattle at 1 game apiece. Show Ali and Jesse Rubinoff with you. Jays Talk is back after this on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're 2menandtruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menandtruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menandtruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menandtruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Bring it it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
So, you want to be a loony dogger, eh? Are you the relish ringleader, seventh inning snacker, TikTok topper, or ketchup king? Every Tuesday, Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the home run hound or value virtuoso, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this delicious deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
That a little bit more often as you go on, and we'll likely see Yariel one more time before the probably one more time. Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. No game on Monday. 3 in San Fran, 3 in Arizona, but yeah, we'll likely see Yariel one more time before the All-Star break. That's Jesse Rubinoff. I'm Show Ali. You're listening to Jays Talk. Jays win 5-4 over the Mariners to knot this series up at 1 game apiece. We're live on the Sportsnet Radio Network, on sportsnet.ca, and on the Sportsnet app. Let's go back to the phones. 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Let's go to Rick in Edmonton joining us here on Jays Talk. Rick, what's up?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
How's it going, Rick?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing all right.
All right. Good. I just wanted to make a comment, though, about Bichette and Guerrero. If they have to keep one of them, I would prioritize Bichette because, well, let's just say Guerrero. He's solid, but he is not the generational player his father was. I had the privilege of watching Vladdy Sr. in Montreal back in the day. So, yeah, what do you think? Should they...
Well,
are they both going to stay? Or
here's the thing, Rick. Like, I don't disagree with you that he's not the generational hitter, but that doesn't also mean he's a bad player.
Well, he's solid. I can agree there.
Yeah, I think.
But if they have to trade because he doesn't want to sign long term, I think you have to prioritize Bichette over Guerrero because, in my opinion, Bichette is the better player.
I think the thing that when I look at Vladdy and the fact that he may not be the generational player that we thought he was, I don't think Bo Bichette has shown you that he's that guy either.
Right.
And they're both going to command a ton of money. Bo Bichette may be, in the end, more expensive because he plays a premium position at shortstop. The average salary among the top 5 shortstops is certainly higher than the top 5 first basemen. And if you look at the statistics this year, if you're going just based on recency bias, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is having a far superior year to Bo Bichette. And I would like to see Bo Bichette climb himself out of it before, if you're the Blue Jays front office, before you're willing to make an investment of that magnitude in a guy like Bo Bichette. And then the other thing is that Vladdy has been very vocal about wanting to stay a member of the Toronto Blue Jays and perhaps for the duration of his career. I haven't heard any of that from Bo Bichette.
Right.
And I think that factors into it a little bit, probably how easy the negotiations, or difficult for that matter, they might be. But as it stands right now, there's a lot of boxes that Vladdy checks off that, frankly, right now, Bo doesn't check them off for me.
I think he can get back to that point, but he'd have to have like a really precipitous turnaround. You know what I mean? Like he would really have to turn things around for that conversation to change. Unfortunately, I would like for it to. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like advocating for Bo to be bad and play his way out of Toronto by no means. I would for sure, and I think a lot of fans would also like for him to
have
be
them both.
good.
Yeah,
for them to both play well enough that it's worth keeping them both. But if you're making the decision right now, the person who has played his way into staying is Vladdy, right? I agree. He is not a Hall of Famer like his father is. That's a pretty high bar. I would say it's a higher bar in baseball than it is in like any other sport, because it's like and I say this with love, but the Baseball Writers Association a little bit snobby, right? Like they have a high bar for guys getting into the Hall of Fame, and I'm actually fine with that. I'm fine with being like a small hall type of guy. I think maybe like the Basketball Hall of Fame lets maybe too many guys in. Maybe the NFL Hall, like the Pro Football Hall of Fame, does as well, perhaps. But the NHL is kind of like right in the middle sometimes, but yeah, I think if that's the bar, you're probably like never going to clear that bar of being a Hall of Famer.
It's our fault and the fans' fault for having such high expectations for the guy. Like, all you can do at this point is look at what he's done up to this point in his career, and then decide to give him a contract based on his production now. Like, you can't pay him as, potentially a generational player. You need good players to play for you. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And he's probably not going to make as much money as he would have if he was a generational player anyway. So that, in the end, should actually be a good thing, because you're going to save some money if you're the Toronto Blue Jays and trying to re-sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That's Jesse Rubinoff. I'm Show Ali. We got a couple minutes left here. Let's go to the text line, Jesse. 590, name and location. I'll read these ones first, because I'm not going to pretend to be a prospect expert. I really am not. You need Blake for that. But Mark from Thorold and Ed in Aurelia both texting about Gabriel, and I think his last name is spelled Cancel, but I believe it's pronounced Cancel, I think. But so I'm not going to, I think I might be wrong on that. But Gabriel Cancel, let's say, with the Buffalo Bison. So he signed with the Jays not that long ago, and so I haven't seen what the Buffalo Bisons did today, but on the series-ending loss to the Houston Astros, he hit his 5th home run in 7 games. Now, of course, you need to see how sustainable that is. I don't know how and of course, anytime you bring up anyone from the minors, like from the Bisons to the majors, it's going to be a little bit of a drop off. But I bet we do see Cancel, maybe the Riley Tarotas of the world, at some point this season, if the season is lost. At some point, again, September call-ups type of things. But